There's a moment, I was like, I hit record, it was like, okay, we're running. So we're here. We are here. We are ready to go, and welcome everybody to the day three of recording. Day three of recording, although this is going to end up being episode 7, I believe, of the edition you're watching, of Hearthglow. I am your dungeon master and the writer and creator of this adventure. My name is Gregory Wilson. You might know me as Arvin Elleron on Twitch. I am an author and professor, and like I said, I wrote this thing. And I am joined by my amazing players, and we are here at the Klein Memorial Auditorium. So first of all, thank you again to the Klein. We are in the historic art gallery here in the historic Klein as we historically record. You know, now that I think of it, we are clearly the first D&D podcast ever to be recorded in this historic theater.
Super making history, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, which camera do we address if we're looking at the audience? This one? This one?
If this one right here,
That one.
this one, that one, no, that's not right. This one, that one.
Okay, that's easier anyway.
That's you,
Okay,
yes,
good.
yes.
Just wanted to know.
So let me start with this time. The way we have things oriented, the video is a little bit different. So I'm going to start with Zach first, and then we'll work across this way. So Zach, welcome. We were saying that we appreciate that you're here. Although if you could take, I don't know, man, you're taking a lot of room. So if you could just,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying. But how are you doing? How's everything, my friend? How's life in the universe? Who are you playing today?
Everything's doing pretty good out here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I can say, even though I'm not there right now, the Klein Theater is pretty cool. I have been there a couple times, and done D&D shows related to this very podcast there, and every time it's a wonderful time. So I think next time though that I'm out, I'll have to see the area where you guys are recording in, because that's a new spot that I haven't been to yet.
Yeah, and we have new art in the new spot too. There's some new art up here. So
yeah, so no, I'm doing great, and I'm excited to continue our adventure as the Turtle Druid Elder Honu.
Very excited to see what Elder Hanu, who pulled a muscle last time. He might also have pulled a muscle. Given the species.
I pulled a missile, and I'm like, from where?
Pulled a missile out of a shell, and you became a Pokemon suddenly. But but it is a great pleasure to have Zach back with us. Thank you, Zach. And don't forget, by the way, folks who are watching this, don't forget to check out Zach's and my Gen GM's show, in which we do DM and GM tips for people. You can find that over on Gen GM's on YouTube.
I need that.
And then we're up to episode 9 is the long form, and then we have a bunch of short videos too. So
I want to learn how to be a GM.
Yeah, you would be good at it, Claire. Moving right along to the aforementioned people who are here with me, I'll begin with a good friend here on my left. On the left of your picture. It is on my left, technically. Eventually, it gets there.
It all works out.
But that's Carlos Hernandez. Hi, Carlos. How's everything with you? As always, love the shirt.
Yes.
Very much appreciate. It's good stuff. So,
generation.
how's everything with you? And who are you playing today? How are you feeling about today's session?
Yeah, I'm really excited about today's session. Things are going really well. I had an opportunity last weekend to test my very first American freeform LARP. Called Krampus's Basket, in which everybody plays naughty Bavarian children, and all of the kids in the basket, but one of them escapes by the end. It actually went really well. I learned a lot from the playtest, of course.
I tried to break it.
And you did a great job.
Thank you.
Like in the best way.
Wait, maybe I missed this. You actually made the LARP? Like it was your...
It was his first design of a LARP.
So there's a competition called the Golden Cobra that happens
of course there is.
In October, in which you can submit American freeform LARPs, or maybe other kinds of LARP too, but definitely not the boffer type. I think it's much more the sort of like Nordic kind of LARP that's more verbal and stuff like that. But American freeform is more like a shorter form, has some gameplay like elements like board games, and basically you could give coal and candy to your other bad Bavarian children, and you could make them speak the truth about the lies that they've been telling. It was great fun.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, I am excited. See, this is going to be the big thing, right? Like Carlos, prominent author, prominent professor, prominent game designer, and then prominent CEO and controller of like a massive LARP empire, like he's created, just sort of like from everywhere. the franchise.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hernandezville.
I am sure, like once it got to that level, some actually smart business people would totally undermine me and throw me to the curb.
Okay, that's true. But that would be a great novel, though. Then, like a great memoir.
Yeah, exactly. Great for everyone reading it.
That's true. Not for the summer. Who are you playing today?
Today, I am playing Ali Nide, a sorcerer, a dragonborn, who may have a little bit of Tiamat blood that is not quite in her control, leading to madcap mischief that may have to be resolved in this or future episodes.
Yes, there was a little bit of there's some intensity with Ali Nide and a certain revelatory experience between Ali and Wilhelm, but we will talk about that when we get there. It was interesting. It was really interesting and very funny. Always a pleasure, Carlos. Claire, it is good to see you. How is life in the universe with you and everything and stuff?
I'm on novel deadline, and I have like 2 more days. Wait, the 27th? 3 more days until it's due. I may have to ask for a little bit of an extension. Don't tell my editor until Monday when I tell him. And so that's good, though. I'm having so much fun with it. But I'm writing every day and like getting up really early to write with one friend in New Mexico and staying up really late to write with another friend in Connecticut, all virtually, and then in the middle of the day writing with my friend in St. Louis. So that's been really fun. But today I am not writing. I did write a little bit on the train, but I am playing Mog Riz, a hyena shifter, trickster, rogue. That's what she is. I think of her as a trickster, but she's a rogue, and I like her. And sometimes she shifts into even more of a hyena, but we haven't seen that yet, so I'm excited about possibly doing that sometime.
Mm-hmm. No, I expect there may be a moment where you will be put to the test, and all of a sudden we'll have some Incredible Hulk moment, so to speak, at that time. Although, wait, there was a moment where you did do that during the actual live session, on stage session, right? The second one. Yeah. So I do remember that. But yes, I look forward to seeing.
Yeah, we had our little like crocheted dog masks that I put on.
That was really funny.
Nuts.
So always a pleasure, Clay.
Thank you.
And also a pleasure to have Adam with us. Adam Petrosino, who has been busy, and is running with like no problem with sleep, right? Like 12 hours a day, no issues, really.
For sure. I've been up to a lot of college stuff, a lot of studying, theater arts things as well. I've been working on projections for a show. Wrote one of my shows again, and that's up and running, going to be getting there soon.
Yeah, when's it happening actually? When is it actually going on?
There's 3 rounds. The first round, I just got my director and stage manager, and we're casting this weekend. Okay. Ooh. And then from there, it'll just keep going, and we'll see how far I get.
You're going to tell us, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
That's good. Anyone who's in the Sacred Heart area, okay, Southern Connecticut, make sure we have a bunch of people, Hearthglow fans showing up, repping. Let's see it,
But a lot of that, and I am back playing Wilhelm Scriven again, half-elf, bard, poet, and I am excited to cast some spells and say some poetry.
I am excited as well. Let's do it. Okay, I am going to turn on a bit of music here. If I can, although I don't think I've been, I haven't been using music. Never mind, I take that back. Let me not introduce anything unusual now. I may think about doing that later. The music can be helpful in some cases, but just to be on the safe side, we will have the audio of our wonderful people. So, those of you who are watching this on YouTube will notice that you are looking at a map of an inverted triangle with 3 flames, one at each point, and with stairs leading up from the southeastern corner. And those of you who are not watching at home will have just heard me describe that because you'll be listening. This is the top floor of the Wizard Tower that was originally the quarters of one Vernon Richard, or as my 8-year-old likes to call him, Vernon Richard Boo. He just puts all of that because he's learned you always boo Vernon Richard. That's the deal. So anyway, Vernon Richard Boo these were his quarters, and this group of people who were instrumental in not only his unmasking, but then also in the trial that was undertaken, which almost ended in disaster. This crew was instrumental in bringing him to justice, and then really bringing him to justice in the end. But the person who tried to get him out, who tried to help him escape, is still missing. And so Thaddeus Clariton, the head of school at the Hearthglow Academy, has sent these 4 intrepid adventurers forth, trying to essentially imagine Search for Spock, but if Spock was a bad guy. They're trying to find the accomplice who was responsible for throwing Vernon Richard this incredibly powerful artifact called a Megirolith, which could have been devastating and could even have consumed all the magic of the world. It could have been really, really bad. So the question is, how did they get such a device, and why were they working with Vernon Richard? And so, since Vernon Richard is inconveniently unavailable to answer this question, having been taken down to his final end by a large angry tree, the party is left to figure it out on their own. So they have made their way up through the tower, and in our first 6 episodes, if you're listening at home, and or your 2 previous recorded episodes that you watched, the party went into the tower, came up through the tower, and found a number of strange things. Crystals that exploded, and carpets that had portals to space on the other side. I know that you haven't had a chance to listen to the episodes, but I have to say this is a positive to my wonderful audio editor, Triffid, who is doing this. There was about a minute at the end of our last episode that I couldn't account for, and I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, this is really great episode, I like this, is funny. But then there was a minute, and I was like, why is there an extra minute? And at the end of the minute, I was driving along in the car, and then you hear, bum, 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 and they put in the whole space theme thing because of Mr. Round Clown spinning through space. It was very funny. So anyway, that's what that was about. It was pretty amazing. So they did rescue Mr. Round Clown, and they did manage to get him back, and they were so happy that they rescued him that there was a moment of excitement where Ali may have revealed a certain Tiamatish trend, I guess, to Wilhelm, who was a little troubled, but in typical Wilhelm fashion, took it in stride, more or less. And so there was that big moment. But the party has now made its way all the way to the top of the Wizard's Tower. And again, just to describe it, they are in the midst of what feels like a starry night. It is dark, even though it was clearly during the day when you all entered the tower in the first place. But it is dark up here, and there are these swirling stars around you that you can see, and it's almost as if you are in the midst of those stars. I mentioned that it looked a little bit like you're in a planetarium, but the stars are the twinkling stars are here and here and here. Yeah. Well, so that leads me to what I wanted to ask all of you to do. So what do you want to do? Mog, is that you telling me you want to reach for these things?
I think Mog would be like, oh, look, shiny.
Well, when you reach for it, because they're all, as I say, kind of spinning around, when you reach for the stars, the star you almost push it out of the way, and the star heads off this direction and then hits another star and then
explodes?
Yeah. And then there's, in another area, you see a little, what looks like an area of darkness, and a couple of stars are sort of heading towards it and then being sucked into it. And over here, there's kind of what looks like a planetary body with rings around it. But as you touch it, you don't really feel anything exactly, but it definitely, you're affecting, as you do some of that, the stars move around.
It's like VR or something.
Caused a cataclysmic event.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, half the planet is destroyed. Yeah, no. Yeah. So.
I think there's a black hole in that direction, and maybe don't touch the stars, everyone. Sorry.
So on the map, where is the black hole?
The black hole, well, it's not on the map because it's kind of above you.
It's above, okay.
It's above and off, in the sky. It doesn't also seem to be getting larger, but whenever a star drifts in that direction, it does kind of get sucked into it.
And so when a star goes out, does the place get noticeably dimmer? Can you see dimming?
There's so many stars, I don't think that you'd be able to notice. There's hundreds and hundreds. But it definitely doesn't reappear.
Craig,
that's for
there's
sure.
Billions and billions.
I'm just talking about here only. This is just the Milky Way. No, but there's many, 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 many stars. Yeah.
I am going to ask the group. Do you think I should maybe shoot a little firebolt in there and see if it's an actual black hole or if it's just something else?
Sure.
Yes, and what do you think, Teach?
I'm looking at Elder Hanu, kind of nodding ruefully at my youthful
The elder will give a slow nod. The only thing I would add, am I mistaken? Somehow I remember us hearing a voice or something when we got up here, or is it just that we heard or just that we see this black hole and the stars?
I don't. I in my prep for this, I don't remember that that there was a voice
I don't think
here.
we did. I might be misremembering from when Mog saw the vision of the past, where
Yes, that right,
Vernon.
but that was right.
Okay.
And that wasn't here.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, earlier on.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no.
just-
But I will say one thing though, which is that it is exceedingly quiet up here. Like there's no sense of wind per se, and there's no you don't hear noise from the rest of Hearthglow. You know, remember this tower is kind of in the midst of a school, right? So, but you don't hear sounds from below or anything. It's
strange.
It's very quiet. Now it's not vacuum quiet, but it's quiet.
Okay. So at this point, I'm going to go and just blow a firebolt into that darkened area.
Okay, so yeah, the firebolt as it goes, first of all, you see several like stars moving out of the way, like as the bolt is going through them, and then when it hits the black hole, the odd thing about it is it really sort of winks out, like it doesn't impact, it just is like sucked in.
Interesting.
I have a theory. I think this may be an extra dimensional space. Like one of those bags of holding that you can put inside it and you put your arm in and it disappears, come back out. There might be something in there, or we can go inside there.
It could also be magical darkness.
It could be.
You guys are so smart. You have that in common, you know. It's very cute. What a cute couple.
Oh my god. I goat faint. All over, legs in the air.
Allie, wake up. Wake up. What?
Stars flying around
Yeah,
your body,
exactly.
like
Stars literally around my head.
Oh my God.
I think she's anemic. Allie, wake up.
The elder will.
Clenching my teeth.
So I have a feature. You know, as a druid, druids can wild shape into different animals. This is. I don't think we've ever seen Elder Hanu do this yet.
No, I don't think so.
And I'm still not going to do it because
and keep waiting.
Yeah, keep waiting. I only mention it because there's an extra feature of wild shape that they added from Tasha's Cauldron, and it's also in the new edition. Called Wild Companion. It says you can expend a use of your wild shape to cast Find Familiar instead, and you get a fae instead of a beast, but it still assumes a form of like a cat or any small critter. So what I'd like to do, if possible, is use one of my wild shapes, not to shape myself, but to essentially cast Find Familiar, and I'd like my familiar, just flavor-wise. It's I'll kind of like dig a hand into my shell, and then as Elder Honu brings out a long clawed finger, there's a caterpillar on his finger, and then he sort of like slowly and gently closes his hand, and then when he reopens it, it's a butterfly with two beautiful blue wings. So I'll cast Find Familiar just on this little butterfly, and then the elder will say, "When I do this, I can see through its eyes. Go on, little one." And I will kind of push my palm forward and let the butterfly fly directly into the spatial anomaly that is
We're
ahead
gonna
of
watch
us.
this butterfly spaghettify against this black hole here.
yeah,
He's the best
Yeah.
teacher at Hearthglow. I think he's so cool.
wow,
So cool.
It's like this so it's this beautiful image, and it's like get used to this butterfly.
Sucked into a black hole and obliterated. Yep.
So
okay.
the butterfly does fly towards it, and as its wings, flap, again, stars, kind of are blown out of the way, whatever. And when it gets up to this sort of whatever darkness, darkened area, you can see that its wings kind of flap, and then there's a strange experience of, and sort of in the way you described a little bit, the wings are like, and then the body of it is elongated and then sucked into the darkness.
Okay.
You actually did spaghettify it.
One of the features of the Find Familiar spell is that it lets the caster view through the senses of their familiar. So Elder Honu will attempt that right now, and will attempt to see what the butterfly sees.
Okay.
Sounds like an ancient proverb. See what the butterfly sees.
What the butterfly sees.
Fly as
I
it
take
flies.
notes.
Is there a range on the seeing through the familiar?
Yes.
60
which
feet.
which may be shorter, unfortunately, than
Right.
the
Same plane of
universe.
existence.
So let me see here. I believe it's 100 and
30 light
something
years.
feet. Here we go. Hello. Okay. You can see through the familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses it has. While it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. But I actually don't think there's
Okay, so
a
you can't
range on the
communicate with
perception.
it.
Right.
Okay. All right, so this is an abyss moment, basically, where you can see what, Edgar
Yeah,
is
but I
going through.
can't
But
can't do
okay.
anything to
Gotcha.
to stop it.
So, given that, what you see, Elder Hanu, is there is this moment where, all is darkness. That's probably not too surprising. And then on the other side of the darkness, lighting up around the butterfly, there is what probably would be best described as a large grove, might be the best way to put it, an enormous forest grove. And this forest grove has sort of a purplish light that's in the center of it, and then a number of fallen stones. They might have been like obelisks or, think, to jump out of game for a minute, think Stonehenge, right? Or something like that, but now fallen, clearly decayed. But the place looks to be in fairly good shape, and as the butterfly flies down, you can see there are a few creatures, very delicate, maybe, 4 or 5 feet in height, that are sort of looking up curiously, clearly at the butterfly. And as the butterfly comes towards them, because it seems to be, it's hard to tell whether it's flying or it's being drawn towards these creatures. But they are looking up at them, and as you get closer, you can see that there are delicate wings on the back of these creatures. They're almost unearthly. There's an unearthly beauty about them. And they sort of look with wonder and then sort of point up at the butterfly as the butterfly gets closer. And then when the butterfly is only maybe 20, 25 feet away, there is this flash of red. And for a moment, you have a vision of something with angular red eyes in the darkness, and then your connection is lost.
Okay, and you said when it's only 20, 25 feet away is when this happened?
Yes.
20, 25 feet away from what?
From the creatures that they had been going, because
Okay.
they were gathered, like 3 of them were gathered together on the ground of this, on the floor, the forest floor of this grove that you saw.
Okay. And I see. Okay. And were the creatures seemed fine? Like, or did they
They
have
seemed
any
curious
reaction?
in the butterfly. Yeah, and you
they have
didn't
any-
you don't. I mean, it's hard to tell, but it didn't look like they went. "Ugh," like they didn't look like it looked like it was
Yeah.
something else.
Okay.
You're not even sure if it was in the same area, but something clearly
Right.
showed up.
Okay. I will exit the warging, as it's called, and I will inform. I will give such vivid description as well to my companions, and finish by saying, and then something with red eyes just ate it.
Whoa.
That's amazing. Sometimes my eyes flash red when I, go a little hyena. Remember, we found a map in one of those rooms below that led to the Emerald Darkness, and you were telling us
Oh.
that there were hunters and explorers that go there, and there were strange creatures.
Right.
I wonder, do you think it's like a shortcut there, or do you think it's a whole different world?
I think it's a shortcut. I think
I
this
think
is how
that's-
that whole
that's a-
pipeline was done. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Right.
ahead, teach.
No, it must be the Emerald Darkness. That is.
Have you ever been there before?
I don't think so. Only the borders, maybe. Interesting. I am not sure that we should go inside, if only because I'm not sure we'll find a way back out. But maybe this is something... I would say it's something we inform Thaddeus Caleriton about. I just have a fear that the portal may close when we try to return here. This thing often happens. You find something absolutely amazing and wonderful, you rush off to tell someone about it, and then you come back and it's not there. It happens a lot.
Well, that tells me that maybe we should go right now.
Did you
Maybe.
hear the part about the monster with red eyes that ate butterflies?
I know, but you got Mr. Round Clown, and we got Teach.
We just got him back. He was lost in space and time.
So he's very grateful to us, and now he'll want to protect us.
So Mr. Round Clown, out of his voice, we suddenly hear, I don't want to go.
Oh, Mr. Round Clown. So we're just gonna crawl back to the headmaster with our tails between our legs and our ears flopping down, and we'll be like, we found this cool thing, but we didn't explore it.
I don't have ears.
Some of us have ears. So, we've got fans.
What I think is we see these little delicate creatures that haven't seen anything outside of there, and something is stopping other things from coming in. They might be trapped. And someone like Vernon Shard might trap them in there.
Right. If it is a portal to the Emerald Darkness, then that region is known outside of just this portal, so there would be ways out. You know what? I think you're right, Mog. Of all people to help us escape such a place, that if we were to enter it, having a archdruid with you, old as I am, might be the best kind of person. You know, why not a little adventure? If all of you have some curiosity and bravery to this strange portal, I think we should do it.
How high up is the portal?
It's probably a good 50, 60 feet up and small. It's not very large. I mean, it's relative to the size of the stars around it and all that, but...
I mean, it's a black hole. We'll get smaller.
Right, but how are we even going to get up there, though?
None of us are strong, right? No, I don't think so, based on that report. All right.
Wrong. I don't think my rope is going to get us up there.
I mean, Mr. Round Clown is strong.
If we put... How long is your rope?
How long is my rope? Let me check my backpack. I've got this bolt of cloth in there and some paper, so I've got to dig for it.
Pretty sure if you're playing D&D, it has to be 50 feet. It's like required.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I don't know I'm playing D&D. It's 50 feet. 50 feet of rope.
Hempen, I bet.
Hempen rope.
Hempen rope.
I made it myself in rope glass.
Then if we have Mr. Round Clown throw it up there and we're all attached to the other end, if it gets sucked in, maybe all of us get sucked in with it. Or
I
the
think
other
we should
end
try.
hangs down and we can climb. We'll see.
Hey, you have wings.
Just for a very short period of time, I actually used that power last time, so I don't have that for
You're too
until long
tired.
rest.
Your wings are tired.
Yeah. I'm working
I
on
could...
it. I'm doing
I could...
calisthenics.
Oh, yes. Did you say calisthenics?
I did.
Yes, I remember those. Anyway, I could summon another animal, maybe a larger flying creature, and it could fly the rope into the hole, and then what Wilhelm said will happen.
Oh, Teach, I got mage hand.
Oh, then
Yeah,
let's
you
just
can
do
put my
that.
hand up there.
Let's see. I can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. How much does 50 feet of rope
You just the
weigh?
end.
Just the end?
Yeah. you
Okay,
can-
I try it. I could cast.
Yeah. Let's tie ourselves really well so that we all go together if we're going to go at all.
All right, here, you two help tie each other. I'll be on this end. I'll help Teach.
I put Mog between us. I'm on the edge here.
Hey, Teach, do you make good rope knots?
No.
I don't know if I do either, but I'm gonna give it a go. Okay, so we'll all tie we'll tied
Yeah,
to
we're gonna
a
like mountain climber.
So you're roping yourselves together,
Yeah.
okay? And then with Elder Hanu, and then who's throwing? And are you waiting the end of this rope? Or are you just like?
No.
I've got a mage
The
hand.
mage hand's gonna carry it up.
Okay, what's the range? The mage hand range?
It's pretty long.
I can move it 30 feet every time I use it.
But like to a distance of what?
I think the range area is 30 feet, but every time I can use
Oh,
it.
okay.
It lasts a minute, so 30 feet every 6 seconds times
Right.
6.
Yeah, 180. But I was trying to.
Yeah, I got you.
1800, I think.
Light years?
Oh,
Yes. Late years.
the hand vanishes if it is ever more than 30 feet away from you.
That's what I thought.
Oh, so we have to be
Okay.
flying with it. And it
So
can't
we're
carry us.
missing
Never
20
mind.
feet
Let's untie
of altitude.
ourselves.
Well,
Wilhelm, will you help weave the knots? Allie's knots are really big.
I think we had a bird.
You got
maybe.
a bird?
Yeah, I will. Elder Hanu will use my only other wild shape and create one of the default familiars, which is the raven. Now create
Okay.
a raven. And
Question, Elder Hanu. How often can you do this find familiar spell?
this is so.
Is this a one every 24 hours deal, or?
It uses my wild shapes, and I have 2 wild shapes every short rest.
Okay, so you have one. You've got one more of these basically that you can do until rest.
No, I've just used both because I have 2 per short rest, and I use 1 for the butterfly, and then now 1 for.
Right, I'm saying after this one. Yeah, I'm saying after this one.
Yeah, after this one, I have to take a short rest.
Okay. Right. Okay. Sounds good. So you have that one. Yep. Okay. So you're creating what kind of bird? Just a
A
bird?
raven.
Okay. Oh, raven. You said. I'm sorry. Okay. So you do so. The raven looks at you, croaks nevermore, and then grabs the rope, and then you order it to fly directly towards the. What do you order it to do?
Yeah, assuming that we're to some degree tying ourselves to the rope and
Yeah, we have already
all-
done that effect.
great and all ready to go, then I will order the raven to fly. I'll order it to fly the end of the rope into the black hole, but not to fly itself through the black hole if it can do that.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it flies up with the rope, caw, and it flies up to the edge. As soon as it gets next to the black hole, and it moves the rope, it's like it seems to have absolutely no capability of flying out of it. But the rope
Yeah.
does go in, and all of you with a jerk are brought, and you were just like brought straight up and slammed into the top 60 feet above the roof, basically. Who's in front, by the way?
I am. I'm
Okay.
leading the charge.
So Mog, you are right on top of the black hole, and what you note is that the black hole does not expand for you. You just, yeah, exactly. You're just sort of like this. So you can feel the rope tugging at your belly or wherever you have it attached.
Oh, God.
Through here, and it's not like ripping your guts out or anything, but you're just. While this is happening, Elder Hanu, you again have the sensation that I mentioned before, the vision that I mentioned before of the raven, with the rope running, flying through. There's the forest grove or whatever it is, and I should say it's a very open grove, so there's not like tree cover on top of it. It's very visible. This is like a clearing almost, and again, it is sort of inexorably goes towards these creatures, and again, the 3 creatures that you see sort of pointing and kind of murmuring to each other, and then sort of like looking up at you. Very delicate faces, sort of thin faces, almost slightly elfin, but really, I mean, not elven, but elfin, like very thin and wafy. And as you come close, they're sort of pointing again. And then again, as you get to about 30 feet or so, which at this point is like Mog is, like being almost like pulled in, there is the flash of red, darkness, flash of red overall, and then these red angular eyes. And the next thing you know, Mog, and like you go flying backwards.
Like 50 feet down?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So I need to know what all of you are going to do. I'm going to give you all one and only one chance to tell me what you're going to do to mitigate the effect of this. And you got to do it quick. You don't have a chance to like debate with each other and talk about it with each other. So, Allie, what are you going to try to do? as you fall.
I do want to check to see if I do have my wings. I think I used them up, but I want to see if I have 2
Yeah,
uses
double check on that.
So
I will permit you to double check on that. While you're doing that, Mog, what are you going to try to do to minimize the?
Cast comprehend languages. Just kidding. I think I'll shift into my hyena form because I get a couple extra hit points.
Okay.
When I do that, I can. So I'll get 4 temporary hit points. My teeth grow. My spots get spottier, and I hulk out a bit.
Okay. And Wilhelm, what are you doing?
As we're falling, I'm going to say, when the situation is dire, say this word to save and inspire, and I'm going to give myself inspiration.
Okay.
To sort of lessen the fall, hopefully.
Sounds good. Elder, what about you?
Okay, and so to be clear, Mog at the very top of the rope. It was like we were trying to get sucked through a straw, and then finally
Exactly.
the rope went through, and we didn't, and we're now falling.
The
all
rope
that way
released,
down.
so you're actually now falling with the rope. Like, there's nothing
I
on the
see.
other end of it, basically. In fact, you can't see what happened to the other end of the rope, but we'll talk about that in a minute, right?
Okay.
All you know is that there's some part of the rope left, you don't know what, but it's dangling and is clearly not holding on to the,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. The Elder, this doesn't confer any extra HP to me mechanically, but I'm going to, as an action, withdraw into my shell. Which,
you're going to literally turtle up.
yeah.
Okay.
Which increases my armor class by 4, gives me advantage on strength and con saving throws.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Allie, how are we feeling about this?
yeah, I
these
can
wings?
only do it once per long rest, so I think
Okay.
I used it. So I'm going to just try to grab the wall, just like rake my claws into the wall and slow my descent.
Which wall? Because you're at the top, right?
Right, but was
So-
it top center? I was assuming, I thought it was in this like corner here.
No, because that's right, but you're on the roof. So like it was up in the air. Like there's no ceiling that you saw.
Oh, there's no
You were
ceiling, but
just-
there's no wall on the side
Right.
either? I mean, my ass falls. I got nothing.
Slap your moo
So let me
Yeah,
just,
I expand my moo
just gonna roll a couple of dice for people listening at home, watching at home. Let's see. Okay,
This is why we need music. Adam, you should beatbox for us while we're
a
waiting.
couple more. Okay, right.
And we're falling.
All right. You plunge to the ground, and the person who was in back would have been Wilhelm. Who's all the way in the back?
Mr. Roundcloud?
Yeah,
Oh, was it
probably
Mr.
Mr.
Roundcloud?
Roundcloud.
Ah, Mr. Roundcloud. So all of you are sort of forward as you're falling back, and you expect to hear Mr. Roundcloud like your dice roll, bam! But instead, there is no such impact sound, and then you hear this sort of gentle like tap. And the next person ahead would have been Wilhelm then?
Sure.
And so Wilhelm, like at the last moment, you look around and you find that you have fallen directly into the center of that inverted triangle that I mentioned. When you reach which is the one that you can see there that's just floating, but not floating, it's on the ground, sort of luminescent, right? Maybe 5 feet before the ground, you feel as if an enormous curtain or cushion of air is pushing up at you, and you just, and the same happens for all of you in turn.
Oh.
Oh my god, I wasted a shift for this.
And then Hanu last of all, so there's this. Zzz, 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 zzz. No,
Yeah.
but you are back down on the ground, and now, by the way, you can see that what was left of your once proud rope, Mog, the end of the rope is still tied just in front of you. It has been bitten off.
Oh.
So you now have 49 feet of hemp.
I have 49 feet of hemp.
More like about 20 feet of hemp
wow.
rope. Right, however much you had, like that was ahead into the hole is gone.
I'm just gonna make that note, 20 feet of hempen rope. Hey, I got really long teeth right now. Does anybody need anything bitten in half? Anybody? No, we're good? Okay. Let me know. 30 more seconds.
Sorry, Mog. It'll get use.
So there are these 3 prominent lights
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Are they on like braziers or?
No, they seem to be just sort of almost hovering in midair, kind of slowly rising and falling. Each one of them is maybe, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet in diameter, and maybe a couple of feet high, and they do not give off any heat. But they are literally, and the, as you mentioned, the point, as I mentioned, the points of the triangle are literally almost looks like directly connected to each of those flames.
So I look around at everybody and it's like, well, clearly this is a landing pad. Whatever comes out of the hole lands here and is okay. So this backs up the idea that this is being used to illicit goods, and all of those ledgers that we have, talk about all the stuff that Vernon Richard was doing. I don't know that we need to activate a lot more here, though, or try to explore it a lot more. But we could try to mess around with those globes if we want to see if there's something that we can try to activate.
Do you think if we feed more stars to the black hole, it'll get bigger?
Why don't you try it?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, you activate those, and I'm just gonna try to make the hole big enough to, maybe I could, now that we know that's bouncy, we could just, we're gonna start batting stars.
Oh, you just use it like a moonwalk?
It seems more like a cushion of air than like a trampoline. Yeah.
I tried a trampoline
Like
on
a
it and
bouncy
failed.
Sort of like whirl. It's like sand.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I try it, fail. Try again a couple more times just in case.
But there's
no.
still stars within range of view that, like you can, as a couple of them go in, they all do this sort of wink out thing. Doesn't seem to be growing though.
No, it's still the size of a straw, everybody.
I'm going to try to see if I can do that with one of the big ones, maybe this one right here.
Okay. Now important, are you putting your hands in the flame, around it?
I'm doing around and trying to do air cushion.
Doesn't have any effect on it.
Okay.
In fact, when you do that, your hand at one point goes into the flame.
Oh, no, be careful.
And I only do that because I wouldn't do that if you were going to get
Yeah.
massive damage. But the point is you do that and you can feel a kind of coolness on the skin, maybe a tingling, but that's it. And the thing does not move at all. Nor does the triangle shimmer or glow anymore or whatever.
I can try to blow a firebolt in there, see if it changes color or something.
You do you. I'm gonna crawl around and look for clues on the tower floor.
Okay, can you specify, Mog, like what that might look like? What kind of
I'm gonna get on my hands and knees.
clues? Okay, well, I figured the crawling part I had down. I was wondering about what specific clues are you looking
Yeah.
for?
I
What
mean,
is
is it
crawling?
just a
Please
blank-
describe.
Exactly.
Empty area. Are there any signs of anything Vernon Richard might have been getting up to up here? Is there any,
Okay.
are any of the stones loose? Is there anything hidden or concealed?
Secret doors.
Secret
Yeah.
doors, is it just it is what it looks like? It's a receiving area like in a factory or something?
Okay, for this I'll have you make a perception check for me, please. While that's happening, and you are going to do the firebolt thing, Wilhelm, are you going to do anything in particular while these folks are doing their thing?
Do I know any way to expand openings to spaces like that?
I mean,
I know there's ways to shrink people.
right. Yeah, you probably know more of that than you would
Yeah.
know about sort of widening a space, other than, like explosive spells or something, but that doesn't, like blowing a door open. But that seems a little bit unlikely since it seems to be functioning like space, not like a regular door on terra firma, as they say. While you're thinking about that, Elder Hanu, anything you're doing, and then I'm going to come back to Mog, and then finally to Ali.
Yeah, I think the elder takes a curiosity in the bitten piece of rope and would like to inspect it to see if it's a long shot, but see if he can determine what kind of creature made that bite, or if there's some sort of slobber on it that he smells and it's like, that was a troll that did this.
Let me have you make a nature check for me.
Really
Okay.
interesting. CSI Druid Edition.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh God.
It seems like they're really trying to run us.
I
ragged.
got it. Oh my gosh. I got a 6.
I mean, one thing you can say for sure is that it was definitely not severed by something, by an edged blade or something like that. I mean, it was something that was like, ripped somehow or torn.
Rip torn.
Ripped. That was the one who did it, actually. That's the true bad guys, Rip Torn.
Rip torn circa Beastmaster.
Exactly. or the sadly departed James Earl Jones with contemplate this on the tree of woe. So Mog, what did you get on that
Just
perception?
saying that if it's perception, it's 9, but if it's investigation, it's 12.
It's 12. Yeah, no, it would be perception in this case. You don't find anything in particular, but what you will say is that the floor of this thing, the roof, has no dust, bird droppings, like markings of even age. It seems like as new as it would have been when it was first put in, and obviously the rest of this tower is fairly old, it's been around for a while. That's not what this looks like. And you notice that as the sort of stars are swirling like this all around you all the time, every so often they drift to the ground, and there's a little bit of luminescence that they leave behind, but then the luminescence on the floor even fades. Having said that, there are no tracks, no obvious even suggestion that there is any kind of interaction with the outside world at all.
Can we see over the parapet?
When you go over to look over on the wall, no, you just see blackness below you. And remember,
We're not in Hearthglow, or at least there's an illusion of not being
exactly.
in Hearthglow.
Right,
They're
something
not
is
stars
definitely not
down
looking
there.
like that. No, the stars start basically from the sort of edge of the roof, and then swirl around and go up.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Localized to the circumference of the tower?
so it seems.
Okay.
Yes. And you were going to, with the firebolt. Theoretically.
I hadn't decided
Okay.
yet because I have a couple of other options. So first of all, it's like, everybody give me a little space, okay? I'd make sure I'm not within 5 feet of anybody in a 5-foot radius. I'm going to do thunderclap
Okay.
to get that, but also just to see what the stars do if I create this big sonic boom, basically.
Are you focusing it in any direction? I mean, I understand the stars, but are you like aiming for the hole or aiming for a flame or just,
I would say I'm aiming for a flame.
okay.
So basically, just to I want to see what happens if we move a lot of stars and they all smash together and stuff.
Okay.
But also just to do thunder on on this one right here. And then I'm making sure everybody is away from me.
Okay, go ahead, Elmer.
As I get the feeling, as I'm backing up from Allie saying that she's about to do something like this, the elder will look down at the glyph on the ground and at the flames. Does the black hole in the air have any resemblance to the flames or to the color of the rune on the ground? Like is the black hole also blue?
No.
Blue flame?
No, the black hole is completely black.
Okay. I think the
An absence
elder will,
of color, if anything.
Yeah.
Absence of light.
the elder will shout out,
Wait, I'm... If the flames support this glyph on the ground, and those go out, then that may get rid of the cushion. I think the black hole is its own thing. I have a fear that if we douse the flames, it won't affect the black hole. It will just put out the glyph that stops us from getting killed when we fall.
I was just wondering if it will create a different kind of portal.
Maybe. You could still try it. I'm sure we could relight the flames.
I don't want to do anything dangerous, Teach. What do you think?
I think we're past the point of not doing anything dangerous.
Excellent. And I just let the thunder rip.
Okay. When
Let
you
'em rip.
which one of the three, by the way, are we
This
looking
one
at
right
the one in the okay
So
near
staircase
the
is here.
staircase? Okay.
Northeast.
To the right, to the north, directly to the north of the staircase. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you do that, and there's this, this big thing. First of all, the stars do indeed swirl about wildly. They bang into each other and so forth. They don't seem to cluster and create any massive explosion, but you do see them right. When it gets to the flame wavers and then almost seems to wink out. And for a moment, when it almost winks out, you all have this very odd sensation of noticing the darkness itself around you flickering. And there's a moment where it's and you think you see daylight, outside. And there's a moment where you hear from somewhere down below, I'm late already. I don't know books. And you hear the sound of what sounds clearly like students below, but it's sort of confused. And then, as the thunderclap passes, the flame, the darkness returns, the sounds disappear again.
Interesting.
So
And nothing happened to the black hole at all.
the flames are like creating an illusion or something?
It's either an illusion or maybe it's just creating an alternate space that goes away. So there might be an on-off switch here that lets Vernon Richard set this up when he needs it and then turn it off when he doesn't.
It's possible. I think he just hates the sound of people.
Yeah, he was a real piece of work. Wasn't he like summoning demons or something down there with the throne and the mirror?
Right. We also have all those gemstones that we gathered. Those.
So many gemstones.
Yeah.
I
So
think
many.
if we can't reach into this portal, we know someone that can.
Ooh.
The principal.
Oh, the
He has all this
headmaster.
crazy magic, and if we wanted to, say, dispel this space, which I don't know what would do, maybe it'll throw everything on the ground outside, but he has the power to do any of that.
Probably pretty easily.
And we could come right back here.
It's a great
If
suggestion.
he lets
Alan.
us.
I guess. All right, let's go tell the headmaster.
Is there anything else we should do, though? Before we have...
We should be awesome.
I strike a pose.
You did it!
You got the other floors below this too that you mentioned you wanted to maybe think about.
Says the mayor.
Going back to? Or did we skip a few floors to come right to the
Yeah, at a
roof?
certain point at the end, you're like, we want to get to the roof.
Oh yeah, we were being
You didn't run
completionist.
through them, but you kind of like were like, okay, because you said you wanted to get to the roof and then come back.
Right. So, yeah, maybe we'll just make a slow descent, do a scan, see if there's anything else we should show the headmaster, and reconnoiter.
Oh, that's a really good word. That's like $1 million vocabulary word.
You know, I'm in college now. I'm trying to trying to really up my game.
So,
This
so
is
Elder
a
Hanu, are
great
you
plan.
good with going back down the tower?
Yes, you all are very smart, young, budding adventurers. You've made a wonderful plan. That's exactly what I was going to say. Let us go.
So, should we send Mr. Roundclown down first?
Definitely.
Okay.
So, Mr. Runkle, who probably, by the way, is probably at full hit points at this point with his...
Yes, I would imagine by
Yeah.
now that the time has moved enough.
Right.
Yes.
But he will, they will lead the way and go down the stairs. I'll go second.
Okay. Let me, I was just making sure I had everyone in the right spot. Okay. So the floor right below this, you may remember, is this is the floor that I will show this to all of the lovely folks. This is the floor that has the bed in the middle of it. If you could put
With
that
the
on
with
top
the
there.
flames around it. And
That
we
is
put
right.
out one of the flames, and then
That's
it
correct.
came back up on.
That's correct, and there is still one side of that runic symbol or runic pattern that is extinguished. Oh no, sorry, you extinguished it, but then you relit it. But yes, there were those lights that were beams that were basically surrounding this bed that was in the middle of the room, and they remain lit when you come back down to this floor.
And Wilhelm, did you explored all of the bookshelves and stuff?
I think so. I believe we did, yes.
Maybe we do one more investigation.
Sure. Let's do one more.
Maybe all hands on deck. We all
Do an
investigate
investigation?
the room.
Search.
Okay. What and anything in particular that you're searching for other than just cool clue things?
I mean, I'm particularly interested in words. I'm looking for pieces of paper or
Okay.
writings on wall. I'm looking under, cabinets to see if there are like passwords, scratched in.
Gotcha.
Like,
Okay.
really just sort of like doing a scan, but I'm word oriented for sure.
Okay.
Yep. Illusion transmutation that would give somebody the ability to disappear or run very fast, like that one that we're looking for.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
looking for things that Vernon Richard does not deserve that I do.
Everything.
I wanted things that I can conceal on my person without teach noticing.
Seems reasonable. What about you, Elder?
I think Elder's just keeping an eye out and kind of watching each student as they go through and seeing if they miss anything, but is just sort of supervising.
Okay. Then
Sounds like giving the help action to me.
Well, I would say, yeah. I mean, what I would say is that will allow one of the three of you, I think, could probably get advantage on this investigation check. Is there one in particular that you want to look towards, Elder? Like, do you want to focus more on Ali's words, or Wilhelm's specific magic investigations, or Mog's everything Richard didn't do? Didn't deserve. Yeah.
Everything, every little knickknack that he did by torturing the students, the blood and sweat of our brows. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll help Wilhelm for now.
Okay. So everyone else, everyone rolls investigation, but Wilhelm, you can do this at advantage.
All right. And I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
that I
Yeah.
wanted to use.
2.
Oh my.
So many words. You're like, there are
end,
so
it
many
sounds like-
words. You're like, it's that Winona Ryder meme where there's just a bunch of numbers and you're just like, you just see words everywhere. Yeah, nothing that's coherent. A bunch of boring stuff, honestly.
24.
Wow, I'll come back to that.
12.
And 12. Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that this sort of like, you probably look at it and you're kind of like kind of a jerk covers his own bed and there's like, I bet that, like there's things like that, right? We're just sort of examining it and you're kind of like, meh. But there's nothing in particular that
There's
you
like
think
no
is...
jewelry or money.
No. I wouldn't say it's Spartan, but it's definitely not focused on, the finer things. Wilhelm,
He has his own bedroom.
when you do the 24, one thing you do notice is, as you're sort of looking around, is you see that one of the candles, and remember that these things are, crystalline, crystals, I'm staring at the wrong thing because my sheet is wrong. Yes, candles, that's what I thought. One of them, they had been all sort of at the same level, but the one that was blown out previously, you notice, is now about half where it was before.
Oh, it was like, because it was lit for reals rather than magical light.
And also, there are candles in some of these
Yeah.
containers.
Which indicates that it may not any longer be magical, although the beam clearly is still lit and thus has some magical quality. But it is now burning like a regular candle would be expected to burn.
Interesting. So there's something that he can do that we haven't, but we're not sleeping here, so...
Oh, and it was protecting him from whatever demon he summoned below with the throne that I'm not allowed to sit on, Teach. All right. Maybe we should get out of here before the candles burn down.
Let's keep moving.
I mean, it's not, but, yeah.
I think that's what we got. We should maybe head on down.
Did we investigate the bed, like tear up we like went in to tear up the pillows and, did we do that last time?
I
Like,
don't believe you did that.
No, we
Can
didn't.
I just like do that before
Well,
I
I'm
leave?
gonna put a hand on you and be like, I don't know that you want to cross that barrier. If you cross the line, sometimes you could free the thing that's imprisoned there.
Oh, I thought it was a protection. I thought we figured it out.
I believe so.
Well, I think that's a guess, though.
Is there anything in the room that I can throw into the middle to mess up the
Sure,
bed?
there's absolutely.
Elder Hanu.
There's books, there are all kinds of things you can
I just want to kind of
technically toss.
like missile the bed with projectiles
Okay.
until we see if there's anything hidden in the
I
covers.
don't know, Mog. That could also break the seal.
I think we tested this before.
So you're just taking books? Like,
Yeah, I'm not going to step in if my
Well,
friend tells me not to.
book, like smash.
Yeah.
The blankets gradually are disrupted. Nothing seems to happen to the beams exactly. The bed gets a little bit, buried underneath a bunch of books. But you don't see anything in particular there. It does look, for all intents and purposes, like a regular bed, and a bed that was probably regularly slept in, if you had to guess.
What a son of a troll sleeping in a regular bed like that. All right, I'm out of here.
So, all right, you're going to go down another level then, and let me make sure that I've got the right things. Let's see. Yes, so we do that, and then we go down to
I hate that guy.
that.
There's not a lot to like.
Okay. So on. Oops. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Sorry. Swirly mirror. So, when you come down to the next floor, you find yourself here. And you may remember that this is the one where there's a rug. There are two those braziers with the blue flames over this purple rug that is very richly embroidered. And then there is the swirling mist, and there is the chair that is right opposite.
Is this where Mr. Round Clown ended up lost in space?
No, that was actually on a lower level.
Okay.
This was the one where you were trying to decide if you were going to sit in the chair or not. I should say that the mist, well, make a perception check for me, everybody, please.
Every single?
Yes.
Plus one. It's a natural one.
You go, blah, I can't see. Maybe staring at Mr. Round Clown's back or something to make
I
sure
think I'm
he's
staring
okay.
at Wilhelm. I'm not quite doing that. I'm
Yes,
still trying to
yes,
figure
of
out
course,
like
of
how I
course.
should react to it.
Naturally. What'd you get?
17.
17, I'll come back to that.
18.
18. And Elder?
18.
Okay. Those of you with 18s, and actually, I'll say 17 as well, 17s and 18s. When you look at the mirror, you may remember that it was swirling mist. The mist is now swirling in the opposite direction.
Ooh. I wonder what that means.
I think mirrors swirl in the opposite direction on the other side of the planet.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Hey, Teach, you know that argument about going into the black hole because we're young adventurers and we need to do some things?
Yes.
Do you think it just might apply? Just this once. Sitting in that chair and looking in that mirror. It didn't apply, a couple of minutes ago.
I slowly gesture for Mog to have a seat.
Wait, but let's if you're gonna do it, let's set up proper. I'm gonna put Mr. Round Clown right by the mirror.
With a fist like this?
Let's shatter it.
Right.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
be actually
perfect.
right behind him.
Okay.
And I am going to just have a firebolt prepared.
Elder, where are you and Wilhelm going to be?
I'll be right next to Mog.
Okay. So like standing by her in the chair. Elder, what about you?
Yeah, I'll also stand next to Mog to
So like
protect.
here and then
Yep.
here and here is where we'll be.
Okay. When you sit down, so you go over you.
I should be like rubbing my hands together.
Be careful.
I will be so careful.
I really wish you still had the shift, but you probably don't.
It's a
But
minute,
yeah, probably
so-
not. It's too bad. It would have been nice to just be like,
I mean,
you
you
know,
could just, flavor it up a little.
yeah, you maybe try to, like anyway.
I just puff up the fur
Puff up
on
the fur
my
a bit.
face, prick my little ears.
When you sit down,
I'll sit like Captain Picard, like
Yes,
engaged.
okay,
Like very like
Point
casual
towards the-
emperor
towards the mirror.
pose,
For a moment, Mog, you find yourself, you were just looking at the mirror and your friends are sort of, watching you either anxiously or excitedly, however it may be. And then the swirling mist suddenly disappears and you notice that you're sort of kind of like, you're not locked in place, but all of your focus is upon that mirror. And what you then see are two angular red eyes coming out of the mirror.
as have been described from above.
Yeah. And you are looking at it.
Do we all see it, or is it just Mog?
You see the eyes, but you don't hear anything yet. Mog doesn't look to be in distress, but Mog is just very focused, right? And these eyes look at you and then blink. And then you hear, perhaps in your head, "Why have you come? I told Rashad no more of his toys. Who are you?"
Oh, I'm no one of consequence.
That was obvious.
Thanks.
You. Who are you? What is your name?
Oh, I'm an orphan, but if I weren't, my mama would have told me not to talk to strangers. Who are you?
I am the one asking you the questions.
That doesn't seem very fair to me. How about we do a one-on-one exchange?
So there's a sort of pause, and then you hear, "Did Rashad send you as a joke? He had said there would be no more, and you are the second in as many days."
Oh, maybe Rashad's playing a joke on you. I think Richard's a joke myself, don't you?
Richard has not contacted me. He was overdue for our conversation.
Why don't you tell me what you were going to tell him and I'll convey the message, like a courier, you know?
If you are his messenger, then you will know who he was and what the passphrase that he gave you was.
And you can see that, by the way, as he says this, the eyes, you don't see any mouth moving. You hear this in your head, but every so often the eyes kind of angle and then blink and then sort of like recede again, but they're always visible in some way or another.
It's like the Gamork.
It's very much like the Gamorrean.
Scariest thing of my childhood.
Yeah.
Even more than the Skeksis.
Awesome, so freaking awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I don't got no password. Who was the other person who came? Somebody trying to take my job? My courier job?
If you are a courier, then it means Richard has not learned his lesson. And he will soon find that my tolerance of humor is lessened.
I would love to see you teach Rashad a lesson, especially right now.
Why has he not come himself?
I think he doesn't like you anymore.
There's a pause, and then you hear a...
Rashad would not like me. I do not have friends, but servants.
Was he your servant?
Not yet.
Did he make a bargain with you? You look like a kind of guy who makes bargains.
You have asked questions, and too many.
Yeah.
Tell him this.
Yeah?
If he sends another of his lackeys, I will deal with them. Already there were 2 incursions into the realm. Someone was trying to get in. I kept them from succeeding, but I will allow them in if he does not speak to me. The powers he plays with are beyond his comprehension and far beyond yours.
Oh, totally. So the next time a little minion tries to get into the realm, you're not gonna do anything about it? You're just gonna let him in?
The next time a minion comes into the realm, I will send back his body in pieces. Tell him just that.
Oh,
and
sure.
tell him the time now is short.
The time is short. I'll tell him
And
so hard.
and as you start talking to him, you see the eyes start to recede. And then there is a moment where the eyes recede back into the mirror and then are like right in front of your face for a moment and do this, and then you're back in the room. Now what you didn't hear
fur
it.
goes.
Yeah, you all saw Mog, so you didn't hear Mog talking. You just saw Mog sort of looking, I imagine, making expressions of different types. But you didn't but you saw the eyes for sure as they were kind of drifting, and then the eyes vanish, and you were looking again at the mist-covered mirror again.
Is the
all right?
swirly still going in the same direction as it was?
Yes.
Would you
That
say?
it was now, like when you came down just now. Yeah.
Zach, what was that?
I said to Mog, "Are you all right?"
Oh yeah, that dude's pissed. Oh my god.
Who is it?
You heard him?
Oh yeah. You know those red angular eyes you were talking about, Teach?
Right.
So this guy had red angular eyes, and he made some kind of bargain with Vernon Richard, and he says that Vernon hasn't shown up in a while, and he hasn't paid or something, like what was due, and that there has been one other person who's like sat in the chair and talked to him, but he didn't say who. He didn't like answering my questions, but he said there've been 2 incursions into the realm. I'm thinking it was like your raven and your butterfly, and that if there's more, that he's going to start either letting them go through or he's going to cut them up in little pieces and send them through. Anyway, he seems pretty pissed off at Vernon Richard, which I think is so great, and I'm to give him a message, which I totally will. I'll go down to the tree and I'll be like, "Hey Vernon, I got a message from you from the red-eyed demon." I can't wait.
So the person who threw the Makirolith, that has to be who it was, right? they came running up the tower trying to escape and they consulted with this person. I think that has to be the plan, right?
I think it has to be how I wish that the red-eyed demon just ate that dude, but he didn't. I mean, he didn't say he did anyway. He didn't like me. I think if we ever meet, he's gonna eat me.
That's very interesting.
He said that there were powers beyond Vernon Rashad's comprehension, which means, well, not only are they beyond my comprehension, not that I'm not smart, I am, but I think it's like headmaster level or above, because Vernon Rashad was an archmage or something, wasn't he?
Yes.
It was-
A sorcerer? Possibly.
Very powerful. How big is the mirror?
It's a good size. Like I think 7-8 feet tall. It's a big mirror.
Massive.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm imagining like gilt and heavy and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
And
wondering-
fairly wide.
If he said he wouldn't stop any more incursions if the black hole is opened a little more. I don't know if that was something else, but maybe we could go through that now. I don't know if we want to go through that now.
Well, we tried before and we fell gently onto that bouncy cloud-like area, but we still don't really have a way into the black hole. It's tiny.
That's true.
Do we?
I think we go and tell Thaddeus about this. My thinking, maybe he knows what this demon creature is, or he could help equip us against it. I think a possible plan in the future is one of us disguises as Vernon Richard and uses that as a means to gain access.
Do you think that password that the demon was talking about, do you think it's on one of our papers that is, invisible ink kind of thing, and maybe we can get the headmaster to, tap on it and we can learn the password or something?
That's what we need.
Maybe.
We would need the password, but I don't think this guy's going to believe us anymore. I
Wait,
think
maybe he'll believe Thad. Do you think I could call him Thad?
yes.
I'll do that.
Oh, I have one more idea. I have a spell. We think this is the forest, yes?
The Emerald Forest, Emerald Dark.
I just want to throw something very small in there, and then I can cast a spell to try and locate that. And if we go to the edge of the forest, and then maybe I see some little ping for where it is, we could be able to find this place in person.
I'll mage hand it up for you if you want me to.
Sure. We can throw anything up there. What do we think?
I'm broke.
I'm with you. I'm behind you. I think it's a really good idea. I think that's a very smart idea. I think you're very capable, and we should follow him. Don't other people agree that we should maybe follow Wilhelm here?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you have any little trinket that Wilhelm can throw into the Emerald Darkness or wherever we're going?
I have a bar of soap.
That's because you're so clean.
Maybe.
I mean no offense by this, but something like that you should probably keep.
Hey, Teach, I've got a bell.
There we go.
All right. So we should go back up to the roof.
And just throw it in there. Yep.
I'll mage hand my bell up to the, it's a small bell.
Okay.
Well, but you couldn't make it. Remember, it's like 50 or 60
I
feet.
can't mage hand.
Yeah, but Mr. Round Clown can try to hammer throw it.
Oh yeah,
up there.
yeah. Mr. Roundcloud, you throw it
With
50
the
feet.
fan.
Yeah, he's
It's
just
like-
gonna do like
Okay.
to the spin. Woof, woof,
All
woof.
right.
Olympic shot put.
All right. I guess. Can I have him make? I guess a dexterity? No.
Athletics?
No, it's not strength. He can definitely. He's strong enough to do it. Have him make a dexterity check. It's not a difficult one, but because you're throwing it towards the black hole,
Yeah,
right?
so
Okay.
throw it towards the
Yeah.
black
Brace
hole.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm hoping the hole will.
And it's a bell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just a 7. It's a straight roll.
Okay. I mean, I would say, yeah. Well, so what happens is it kind of like,
Ding.
it doesn't quite aim like ding, 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 but then it does eventually, kind of like get close enough that it
little
then comes in.
pinball
So
shape.
when that happens, you hear, there's nothing, right? It just disappears. But then you hear from down below, a floor or two, dong, 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 dong.
Follow the sound!
Okay. Yeah, we run after it.
Okay. When you get back to this room, actually, ironically, but not with the, can you put the mist
Oh, yeah.
part on top of that? Yes, thank you.
Wait, put it down.
Yeah, you will just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The eyes might come back.
Yeah, who knows?
That's bad news. All right.
So we'll need those. When you get back to the room, you hear the sound is almost deafening, and it is coming unquestionably from the mirror. And the mirror now, the swirls have gone, and you see what looks essentially like, at first it seems like kind of a dark green of some kind, but then as you get closer, you can see there are shadowy bushes and trees and branches and things like that that are visible through the mirror. And the sound is coming clearly from the mirror, from inside the mirror. And you can see the trees inside the mirror slightly moving back and forth.
Oh. Do we smell anything?
Can we feel the
Make
breeze?
a perception check. Make a perception check.
That's, I think, a straight 12 for me.
8.
Okay. You do not smell anything. You don't feel anything, but that's not because you necessarily didn't do well on a perception check. Like, there's not any obvious wind coming from there, but it's definitely, there's stuff that's moving. There's stuff that's moving inside the mirror, back
Is it
and
a
forth.
portal? Do you think we could just walk right through?
It might be. I'm gonna throw a pen at it.
When you throw a pen at it, it hits the surface, and as if it were going through like a curtain of water, and then lands on the other side, on the ground. Also, the ringing is beginning to die down a little bit now.
That is so cool. I'm so tempted to go through, except that thing is gonna eat me.
Elder Hanu, what do you think we should do?
I think we should go get some answers.
And I'll approach the mirror.
Oh. Hanu throwing caution to the wind? Okay.
Yeah.
You were going to say, well,
I think we need to go in there because now that this is open, it can come through here. And that's even a bigger problem. If we step away, then it could come and it could wreak havoc.
Plus, you said there was one person who sat here, but then there were two persons or two things.
Two things that incurred, which I think was the raven and the butterfly.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you're all very brave. I feel like this is dangerous, but I'm with you.
I guess that's why we're going to an academy for adventurers. We might all die, friends. It was really good knowing you.
It was. I'm not ready to die quite yet.
okay. When you get close to the mirror, you can see, Wilhelm, you can see your pen just sort of laying on the forest floor below or beyond the mirror. And you don't hear that. You hear the sound of the bell, but it's very faint now, as if it's just sort of like dong, dong, like quieting down. The mirror's big enough that you could all go in, but you'd have to go in probably one at a time. So the question is, who's
Mr.
going
Roundclown will go first.
Okay.
And then I'm going to suggest that I'll go second.
Okay.
And then
I thought Elder Hanu was approaching first, though.
Yeah, Elder Hanu was standing in front of the mirror, so Elder Hanu does get place of of honor, so to speak, if he wishes.
I'll go after Mr. Roundclown.
Okay, so I'll go behind.
Okay, and Wilhelm and Maud.
I'll go last.
Oh,
Unless
really?
you want to go last.
No, and if we all die before you go in, write it down and bring it to the headmaster. Don't come in after us, we'll be dead.
All right.
Okay, cool.
I'll see it all happen anyway.
Okay. So I'm going to describe what Elder Hanu sees because you're not able to see through the eyes of
No,
Mr.
I can't see
Roundclown.
through Mr. Roundclown.
So Mr. Roundclown goes in, and you can see his form on the other side as he kind of trundles, so to speak, in. And Elder, when you step in to this passage, there is a moment where you feel a strange, slightly nauseating sensation, as if you sort of imagine yourself in two places at once, might be a good way to put it. And then you are through this curtain, and you find yourself on the other side, and you are in a rather extraordinary place. I'm going to show you where it is.
Chuck E. Cheese's.
So, there's an enormous
You're Tarrasque,
animatronic
you're Tarrasque.
mouse that is staring at you, and you
Wait,
are
no.
horrible. Okay, I'm going to bring you and everyone to This place.
man.
So let me describe what this is. So you are,
Is this
you are,
north or
you other way around. So that exactly. So you come in the southern end. So for those of you watching at home, let me make sure that you can see this. Oh yes, you can. For those of you watching, I should say right now on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. But for those of you listening to it, Elder Hanu, you step into an area which is looks like a beautiful forest grove, and it does indeed look like the same grove as the one that your familiars had seen previously. It is a beautiful dark green and luminescent place. There are bushes and trees that are growing all around the grove, but in every one of those trees and bushes there is some glowing blue or sometimes turquoise light that sparkles. There are, in fact, and I'll come back to that, something in particular catches your eye that's moving, but I'll come back to that in a second. There are several stones as well, some of them fallen down, some of them standing off to the sides of this clearing, and you've entered to the southern side of it. As you go up, or as you sort of look up, you can see that there is a area that is a small little possibly pool of energy or something you'd have to get closer to see, which is surrounded by stones. And there are two very large, almost stone arches that are on either side of that. And just beyond that is a circle of stones and a large globe of energy on top of a dais, which has several stairs kind of leading up to it, and strange purple and green flowers grow about it. It seems to have a very similar energy, and for a moment, Elder, you're sort of like overwhelmed by this, I imagine, but then you notice that there was something moving, I said before. All of the light from the luminescent things, the stars, the flowers, etc., they all seem to be pulsing at the same time with the globe of energy. So as the globe pulses, all of those pulse. And after a moment, Elder, you see something else moving. It flies up and alights on your finger. And it is your butterfly. But it is a butterfly which is now luminescent and blue. And its wings strangely flap, pulsing with the globe of energy that is towards the back of this space, and then flies off again. There is a very quiet hum here as well. Other than that, you don't see the creatures that you saw before, and you don't see anything else in the place other than what I've described.
Is Mr. Roundclown there?
Yes, Mr. Roundclown is there, just sort of standing there next to the pen. And Elder, if you walk forward a step, the next person up would be Allie.
Next.
And Allie, you would come in and then see exactly what I just described, and then Mog and Wilhelm.
Yeah, I think we make our way in, and the Elder's going to keep an eye out for any ambushes, but will encourage the students to begin investigating the area.
You're the best teacher ever.
Real hands-on, experiential learning, nothing like it.
I have a really, really bad feeling about something. So while you guys explore this, I'm going to run down and make sure the door is not open
What door?
from outside of the castle.
Sorry, in the tower?
Yes, we went upstairs, and then when we came down, this portal was open. And what if in that time, the portal opened, the creature made its way out, and then out into the school? We don't know.
Okay, so you're not going to come through yet.
Well, you can't talk to him if you're not. I assumed you had to walk
I
through,
walked
because
in.
otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear each other.
So you did walk through?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then are
Yeah.
you going to try to come back out?
If I can.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I'll be right back. I just want to make sure we don't
Okay.
leave things on.
Are you sure it's okay to go by yourself?
Yeah.
What if the creature's waiting for you on the other side?
Then I will run like hell.
Okay, good luck.
You should go with him.
I think we should do a buddy system. No one by themselves.
Buddy system.
I'll go with you.
All right, we'll be very, very fast.
Right.
Good idea, Teach.
Mr. Roundclown, take care of them, okay? And Mr. Roundclown goes, sure thing.
So you and Allie are going to try to go back through.
Yeah.
A little bit of a problem there. When you try to go back through, you see the room beyond, right? Looking again a little wavery, just like this did when you were on that side. But when you try to go through, it's like whoa, 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 like you are repulsed.
Repulsed. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like we could really push it.
You could hard to tell. You could try to really push it if you want. It does seem to give a little bit, but not much. It may just be that that's the nature of the door or whatever that you're looking at.
Huh.
Oh man.
Yikes. Mr. Round Clown, will you kindly take a running start and try to shove your way through the mirror, please? I'd love to. Anything for you, Allie. You're so smart and kind, and you would never sexually harass anyone.
That's right, Mr. Roundclown. How well you know my wonderful friend.
Okay, so go ahead and make a strength. Go ahead and make a strength check for me with Round Clown. I'll take this as athletics if you want. If that
It's
helps.
the same. Yeah, it's the same roll for him. It doesn't have a. So that's a 16.
Okay, so Mr. Round Clown, like throw him back.
I guess we're walking home.
Not violently thrown back.
No, but sort of repulsed as if, and I don't want to overstate the, but definitely like bends slightly and then is pushed back.
I mean, I want him to keep trying, basically, to see if it's possible. So
That's not going to work, you know, my dear. You hear a voice say from behind you.
Oh my God.
And then Mr. Roundclown says, "Well, how would you know?" And tries to imitate the voice.
I don't engage in mimicry, my dear. I'm a real thing, you see.
Huh?
Voice is still like behind you, around the center of the grove behind you. If
Do
you
we all
guess.
see it?
You hear it
Hear it?
first.
Mr. Roundclown, with
Because you're facing the portal out into the room, so you're
Right.
like,
I have Mr. Roundclown kind of like turn around and put little fans on their hips, arms akimbo, and kind of
Okay.
say like, "And who, pray tell, are you then?"
as you turn.
Yeah.
Okay. When you turn
This is all
around.
prestidigitation, by the way.
Okay, that's fair. When you turn around, you see what looks like an old woman, maybe possibly 80s, 90s, who is sort of leaning over and kind of holding on to a staff. She has a kind of dark greenish cloak, and she has a kind face with you can see that the hair itself is sort of blondish, but there are streaks of green through the hair as well. And she's sort of holding on to her staff, and she says, "Once you've gotten through, you're going to have to keep going. There's no way to go back the same way you came from. Those are the rules here, you know."
And, pardon me, ma'am. Where is here exactly? Is this the Emerald Darkness?
The Emerald Darkness. Well, it definitely is emerald, I suppose, but it doesn't look very dark.
So
No.
this is something else. Do you know what the name of this place is?
This is the realm, my dear.
Oh yeah, that's what the demon said.
The what?
Something with red eyes, angular red eyes.
Red eyes. I don't know anything of that.
He likes to eat butterflies.
Eat butterflies? What a terrible thing. Who would do that? They're such beautiful creatures. Oh, I'm sorry. I do go on. So, why are you here?
We're looking for someone who is trying to destroy our school and possibly all of magic.
That's a lot all at once, yes.
They had something called the Megirolith.
I would like an insight check from you, please.
Come on, this
Can I insight too? Can I just like looking at her?
Sure.
I'm just because we're looking at her.
Yeah, my insight just sucks. 8.
You're like, what a kind woman. Like, it's
I know, I'm just in love.
you're sort of like, what did you get?
13.
She, you when you say Megirolith, she sort of nods slowly and like, oh, I'm not aware of anything that destroys magic. Well, it wouldn't in this realm. All this realm is magical. You can see it all around you, can't you? Why, everywhere you look, there's something. And she holds up her hand, and one of the trees next to her, the branch leans over, and for all the world touches it as if she's like shaking the hand of the tree. She says, yes, that's right. And then lets it go, and then it bends back. And she says,
all of us here are filled with magic. And if you're here, it means you must have some magic among you too, although you don't seem to know it, I suppose. You said you had a school of some kind?
Well, this is our teacher, Elder Hanu.
And she looks and she nods. She says, "Oh, I see. You're one of those, what do they call them?
Tarrasques.
Tarrasques. Yeah, no, those are much bigger. Turtles, right? You're a turtle. I've seen you before. Not you, but others of your kind."
The elder just sort of stares at her. Or can you describe this person again? Like
Yes,
what do they look like?
probably about 5 feet in height, crooked sort of back, crouched over, wearing a kind of dark green cloak. She has an old, wrinkled face, looks relatively kind, a kind of gnarled staff that she leans on with both hands, long, blondish white hair, but with streaks of green, sort of running down along her shoulders. Go ahead. Actually, let me finish with Elder. I'll come to you.
I'll walk up to her and say, I'll say,
Right, well, these students were just investigating what came of Vernon Richard's tower, since his death. And just coming here to make sure that they're safe.
and the elder's gonna try to give he's not sure who this person is and has a feeling that there's some deception going on here, so he's going to try to be deceiving and is going to try to I don't know, add some sort of subtext to the look that he gives to this person, as if to say they're just here adventuring and we're here to explore, but secretly I'm in on it with you.
You know what, Zach?
wink, wink.
I'm gonna because I know you can do this. Give me the subtext. I'm not gonna make that a roll. What is that?
Okay.
What is that like? I mean, because she's, you can see her looking at you, and you are, you certainly have the age here, right?
Okay.
So,
All right. So
she leans on this thing.
yeah, Elder will say,
I brought them here to take care of them.
and that will be the subtext.
And she
Just
says,
a heavy.
She says, to take care of, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are many ways perhaps to do that. But I would need to know more. It seems, well, we must keep them safe, mustn't we?
We should. And we should finish what those professors before us started.
Deception check, please.
Okay.
I also wanted to, at any mention of the red eyes of Rashad, was there a sting of recognition that I saw in her? No.
Insight check on the Vernon Richard thing.
Okay. I got a 13.
Okay, I'll come to the 13 in a minute.
16.
16? You think there might have been a flicker of recognition at the Richard thing, but it's hard to see what that means. Like, it wasn't sort of like, he's me, or something like that. But there was definitely a sort of a slight taken aback at the mention of the name. On the 13, Elder Hanu, you said what? You were, the deception.
And they have to roll
Just a
insight?
moment as I...
How does that work? They roll something?
It's a pose check.
It's an opposed check. So she smiles at you and she says, well, and she sort of turns with you slightly, Elder Hanu, putting an arm around your shell, if you will, and kind of turns around and she says, now, just over here. She sort of shuffles forward just a foot or two, and her voice drops and she says, you were told not to bring more than one at a time, and you know the way things work here. If we lose the balance, we lose everything. That was the agreement, yes?
The elder will say,
one at a time is too slow, wouldn't you agree?
Too slow. If it were up to me, many things might be done differently, but we're not in charge, and you know that. If you came here on his orders. The voice, Elder Hanu, of the is entirely different. The waver is there, but there is an edge of steel under the voice that wasn't there before. None of you, by the way, can hear this at all.
No, I'm
she is
probably
keeping
off
her voice.
exploring.
Yeah. Well, she keeps her voice low, but like it's clear that it's not exactly like, but it's definitely quiet.
I'll reply I'll reply to her and say,
Forgive me if I am not fully aware of the late Richard's plans. As you might imagine, things have gone awry recently.
Over his incompetence, no doubt. But she who came before you had already said that things had been dealt with. Why then must you come too?
and the elder will look at these three and say,
Caleritan's orders. It was either I let them poke around on their own, or...
And then he just gives a look, as if to a very cold, hard, dead look to her.
She kind of looks at you and she says, Caleritan, I only know of him by reputation, but he knows nothing of this, does he? Unless Richard's failure was worse than I assumed.
Word has spread.
So, who do you report to then? What is the phrase of power? And she kind of looks back at you with the same kind of cold expression. You can now see that her eyes are not angular red, in case anyone was checking. Not angular red, but a very dark and penetrating green.
And
we're not hearing any of this, so we can't.
No.
yeah, the elder looks over at the students, then looks at this woman and says,
Who do I answer to? I answer to nature.
and I will activate the shillelagh on my staff and attempt to attack her.
Roll initiative.
To nature, that's so good.
I would like initiative rolls, please, from everybody.
Password is kiss my ass.
Passphrase today is suck it. Okay.
I did not expect that to
Oh my
roll
God, we're rolling so
that
bad
snowball to
today.
go that way, but here we go.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
She looks real powerful, guys, and she's
Yeah.
not even the red angular guy demon person.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still nothing like overtly damning that she said, but enough that it's like, okay, this
Yeah,
person's
no, she's on the
obviously
wrong
not.
side.
She was agreeing to help you kill us. Not that I heard
So
that.
I think knocking her out or subduing her to get to the truth.
Sure, I'll subdue her with many fireballs.
She actually is just trying to run a bed and breakfast here. It's like, I can only take one at a time, and that's
It's a great
Greg, did you want to
misunderstanding.
set up any of these?
I got firebolts too, and brave frost.
Yes, if they're small.
Yeah, but if we can
if
get
they're
you the back
small.
stab.
Oh, like
On
a
the table,
sneak
too.
attack?
I know that Brave
Yeah,
is there.
a little bit now. For folks who are listening at home, this is going to have to be a bit theater of the mind. For those watching at home as well, I will try to. I'm going to try to figure out a little bit of how to do this. This is our first combat we've had so far. So, yeah, look at that. I'll show. We can show this to the camera. So, where's my camera? Right there. So look at that, chat. Or look. I keep saying chat as if you're there. Our dear viewers, right? There we go. That's what the person looks like.
Yes.
Here's we can put this here, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, Greg, because chat has now become a slang meme now, where you just say it.
You
to
just say
any
chat?
perceived
Yeah,
yeah, you do.
What do you think, chat?
What do you think about this, chat?
Yeah, this will be round
So we need to
clown
grab
for
it.
you.
Okay, Mr. Round Clown, check. He's like kind of like here-ish, I think.
Mr. Round Clown.
Yes.
I'm going to give you one attack, by the way, Elder, on this just beforehand. Incidentally, wouldn't normally talk about it, but on the deception opposed check, she rolled a crit fail. So it was one reason that you were just like, she was like, that's,
boy.
sounds good to me, whatever you say.
Yeah.
You know.
1d6.
We can do Allie.
Oh, that's perfect. Yes, great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. And Allie, I have you at 20 out of 26 because you had taken a little bit of damage.
I'm at 24 actually.
Oh, 24.
Yeah, we had 24 because we did a little healing.
Okay. Elder, I think you were still at 27 out of 27 though? Or you were at, not though, you were at 27 out of 27?
Yes,
didn't take any
that's
damage.
correct.
And then 21 out of 21 for Mog, and 24 out of 24 for Wilhelm, hit point wise.
24.
Just making sure your hit points
I'm
stay.
at, well, because I'm back at 21 because I'm not in shifting form right now.
Right, that's what, yeah. And then Mr. Roundcloud is back up to full after the time that we took, so that's 30 out of 30,
Yeah,
right?
30
Okay.
out of 30.
All right. Okay, Allie, what do I have as a number from you?
Allie, actually, we both rolled the same thing. Allie is at a 5, and Mr. Roundclown is at a 3 for initiative.
5 and at a 3. Your die has been failing
I
you
know,
so
it's
far,
usually so
Carlos.
kind to me.
Do you want to do the Eye of Sauron die?
Yeah, I need to switch. That-
Elder, what do we got from you for initiative?
18, actually.
18. All right, well, that makes sense because, okay, Wilhelm,
yeah, I suppose so.
Natural 1.
You have a natural one. Oh, she's like, ah! Okay.
We were caught off
Mog,
guard.
Mog, what do we have for
11.
initiative? 11. 11, okay. And we have got, no. Right.
Man, I can't believe this.
We got a hag or something.
Yeah. I don't know, because I was just seeing this kind of person. There's just shady, and she was just gonna lie to us the whole time.
yeah.
And then,
You're just
She was
like
a
more
shady
lying.
lady.
we would have just
you
gotten
pushed
ambushed.
the lie a little bit.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Push the shillelagh.
Push the shillelagh, yeah. That's good. Okay, go ahead and take, go ahead and take your attack here, first of all,
Okay.
Elder, please.
So he basically gets a surprise round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I?
That's great.
So, are we gonna treat this in the surprise round that I get 2 turns at the top, or can I?
Essentially, yes. So you're, but I wouldn't say a turn. The first one is an attack because you shillelagh'd
Okay.
away. So I'm going to assume that you have a free attack, and then you can take your full turn after that because you go
Oh.
first. So
Okay, because I
as
was
it
going to
happens.
propose that I could start my turn, but then get advantage on the shillelagh. But either one, whatever you want to do.
No, I think we're going to do it this way because you
Okay.
got the best initiative here. So
Okay.
it makes sense to
All
do
right.
it this way.
So I'll do a normal attack, and let's see what I get. Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay, that's a 17 to hit.
17 will hit, although as you bring the shillelagh down, she moves with surprising speed and almost gets out of the way, but you do hit.
Okay. All right. So a shillelagh, it makes it so that I use wisdom for my staff attacks, and it becomes a D8, and it's magical. So here we go. Okay, I rolled pretty low on the damage, but that's a 5 damage total.
Okay. All right. And she, as you hit her in the side.
I hope you make
My
that noise every
spleen!
time.
I'm playing on stream this game called Forgotten Realms Unlimited Adventures. It's an old gold box game. You were watching me play.
I was watching.
But every time you hit someone with it, when they go down, the sound is always meh.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing if like a snake dies. Meh. It's like, meh, see? It's all like, you know, Edward G. Robinson. Meh, see? All right. So you do hit. Now you can take your full turn.
Okay.
Her face is now twisted in rage, by the way.
Wow. Okay, man. Oh, well, I have plenty of slots. All right. I will then cast Fairy Fire, which does cover a 20-foot cube.
Okay.
But I know I'm right next to her, but I'd like to cast it such that she is at the front of the cube and then just the big area behind her. I only want her to be in it, essentially.
Okay.
And the effect is really right on cast. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast must make a dex save.
Okay.
Against 13 is my DC.
She does not make that.
Great.
So
Okay. So
she's fairy fired.
Yeah, I'm concentrating on it for the duration. Affected creatures shed dim light, and any attack roll has advantage on that creature.
Fantastic,
and that creature can't become invisible.
I love me some fairy fire.
So cool.
Yeah, and I'll stay right next to her. And that's my action. For my bonus, I will can't do anything else, so that's my turn.
All right, that's going to drop us all the way down to Mog is up next.
Okay, if I already have advantage, does that mean I get sneak attack, or do I still need to hide in order to get sneak attack?
I believe you get sneak attack when you have advantage.
Yeah, when you have
Okay,
you are
so then I'm not gonna do the cunning action hide.
Yeah.
I will just take a shot at her with my
Yep.
short bow.
Okay.
Are we doing this? Okay.
Apparently, yes.
And then I'm gonna see. +5 to hit 15.
Miss. She,
Miss.
as the arrow shoots by.
With advantage.
With advantage.
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't
yeah, the
do
with advantage
Nope, worse.
So, yeah, she dodges out of the way with inhuman speed. I think that's
Inhuman
what it
speed, everyone.
says. I've seen it. I've had
And
the
then-
inhuman speed myself.
Having done that, I will take a cunning action and hide somewhere
Yeah.
where I think that if she turns to look my way, I'm hoping to like get behind. Maybe if there's like an outcropping or a rock, or maybe even just Mr. Round Clown.
There definitely are outcroppings and rocks, quite a few of them that you can see.
Okay.
Although it's a little troubling to you that every time you look, a place you look, there's like this luminescence everywhere. Like there's not as many shadows as you might hope, but there are
Maybe
definitely physical objects though that can get in the way.
For now, I'll maybe dash around and hide behind Mr. Round Clown.
Okay, you can do that.
But face her and just kind of like peek out.
Okay. Just from behind Mr. Roundclown, it's funny.
Yeah, for
okay. So let's see. The next one to go is this creature. So she looks angrily at you, Elder, who was the first one to hit her with a club. And she says, I should have realized that something like you would not be one of his servants. And then slashes twice with her claws. So let's see. We have 2 attacks. The first one is an 11.
That
The
misses.
second one is a crit, though.
I am going to silvery barbs.
Oh, okay. Give me that silvery barbs.
So Wilhelm quickly is going to whip out his book and flip, and say, take hold of this moment and rewrite the script. Make that our wheels and our woes have been flipped.
Nice.
Oh, I got chills.
So,
That's really good.
which means she has to re-roll.
She has to reroll,
Yep.
and then
Wow.
Elder Hanu, I am giving you advantage.
Awesome. Great.
Oh, and the next. Oh, right, on the next attack.
On my next D20 test.
Keep in mind that you already have. Oh, right, that's right. So
Yeah.
it can be even not on an attack because Fairy Fire
Right.
gives you advantage anyway. The second time she does not crit you, but she does get a 21 the second time.
That does hit.
Better than being crit hill.
Okay.
Way
Yes.
better.
Thank you, Wilhelm.
Good stuff, Wilhelm.
And
All right.
excellent poetry.
All right. Yeah. Exactly.
You should be a playwright.
Exactly. Okay. You take 10 points of damage as her claws slice into you.
Oh boy.
And as you sort of, so that brings you down to 17, I believe. And as she
Yeah.
sort of rears back, you can see blood dripping from her claws, and she says, "This is your natural condition, isn't it?" And she kind of glints, her eyes glint green.
I grimace. I do have to make a concentration.
Yeah, I was
check.
going to say yes, and the next step is the concentration.
Okay,
check.
good. I luckily rolled a 19 plus 3, so I think I'm okay.
Nice.
Yep, you're like, hold the line. Okay, so you maintain the concentration in the fairy fire. Okay, she's going to stay where she is. That is going to lead us then to the next one down, which is Allie is up next.
Okay,
Things
so-
are got real, Allie.
Allie is suddenly extremely like wrought, looking sort of like at Wilhelm, but super worried about Elder Hanu, and is just sort of like, unleash the dogs of war, and is going to twin a chaos bolt.
Lovely.
So each of these takes a roll, but we'll do the first one first. So
Okay.
this is at advantage because the fairy fire held.
Yep.
This is +6 on the attack, and only a 16.
Not enough.
Okay, so the first Chaos Bolt misses, but it's twinned,
Yep.
so here's the
Yep.
second one.
Yep.
23.
Yes.
Okay, so
That will definitely hit.
the Chaos Bolt is going to chaotically decide to do what kind of damage? It is, I can choose either 3 or 4 here, so, sorry, just looking right here.
No problem.
It's either fire or force. I'll go ahead and do force damage on her.
Okay.
And the total damage is 7 plus 5 is 12 points of damage, so force damage.
Okay, so she, and there's a sort of sound as she kind of staggers back. You notice that as she staggers back, the light continues to sort of pulse with that energy in the back, but as she staggers back, you can hear, and Mog, I would say you, because you're behind like something, hear a rustling in the bushes not far from you. Like something is like, woodland creature, something, but something is definitely disturbed by everything that's going on, and as that sound goes off, as the force damage hits, something. In fact, you're aware of whispering and sort of rustling in a lot of areas, Mog. Okay, are you going to move anywhere, Allie?
Yeah, so basically, I'm going to just sort of like put myself, I'm imagining they're like here-ish? Or where are
No,
they?
they had walked to almost close to the pool, so they would be right around here. In fact, she is probably here. Elder Hanu is probably standing right next to her there, I would say.
Okay, then yeah, I'm going to kind of like just back off a little bit actually and just kind of like put myself in this corner-ish.
Okay, and actually Mog, which one's Mog?
I'm
This one
behind,
here.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just,
But you were at a distance because you were shooting away.
because you were shooting the bow, yeah, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Oh, so she's moved in?
Yeah, I mean, she's like right here.
She's been, yeah, but she was like going off on Elder Hanu because
Right.
Shillelagh does that to people. Okay, so, all right, good stuff, Allie. And that leads us to Mr. Roundclown, and then Wilhelm after that, I believe.
Yeah, Mr. Roundclown basically does this kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, whips out the fans in front and does
Okay.
a short kata before just coming in and like
I was going to say,
swinging
should I start the music?
Yeah. Exactly. But it's
Okay.
it's basically like a circular saw of doom coming
Yeah,
at her,
okay.
and
Yeah.
rolls with advantage.
Okay.
Great, so, yeah, it's a +6, so 24.
Sure, that hits.
So it's 1d8 plus 4 damage. Make it 9.
Make it 9, okay.
Make it so.
Make it so. Takes that in stride.
And is right up against her, basically.
Okay.
So that, yeah, there might be a reaction here
Okay.
that they'll be able to use.
Okay. All right, good stuff out of Mr. Roundclown. That brings us to Wilhelm.
All right. He's going to flip through his book very quickly. He's going to go around to this side. And first, he's going to use unsettling words. He is going to say, for our sake, may your confidence break. And unsettling words is going to be expending inspiration die, one creature within 60 feet. The creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Okay.
And that number is going to be a 6.
Woo!
Nice.
Great roll.
And
Okay.
then, to follow that up, he's going to flip. A lot of talking.
I thought literally flip. He's going to backflip for no reason. And then, like, just because.
He's
Nice.
going to
Parkour.
cast on her Dissonant Whispers
Okay.
and say, discordant noise affront your ear to shrink in pain and run in fear.
Woo!
And that is going to be a wisdom save. -6.
Yeah, -6, yeah.
What's the DC?
13.
13.
Okay. DC 13, you said?
DC 13.
Doesn't make that. Definitely not with a -6. Doesn't
Yeah,
make
that's
that.
a...
All right. So she takes. That's not bad. 9 points of psychic damage,
Okay.
and with her reaction, she needs to run away. And, and given that that's not forced movement because she's using her reaction, that's 2 attacks of opportunity.
That's right. So she will probably run. Well, she's not going to run towards the. Could run towards the portal. All right, she will probably run towards. Let's see. She will run towards the. I guess this way. So yeah, so she will turn.
Can Zach see this?
I would imagine. No, I'm going to describe it to
But
Zach.
I can imagine it.
Yeah. So turning around and is going to run towards the back, sort of towards where you first came in, this way. So as she does, Elder Hanu and
Mr. Roundclaw.
no, Mr. Roundclaw, sorry, can both get attacks of opportunity on her.
And at advantage, right?
At advantage. She would have been advantage anyway because of the fairy fire.
Great.
That's another
Okay.
23, so
Okay, 23 will hit, and then Elder, you can make your attack 2 while we
8
address
points
the
of
problem.
damage.
Okay. 22 to hit for me, and 9 points of damage.
Okay.
So 17 total from
Takes
us.
both of those. It's starting to look a little ragged, but still, taking it in stride somewhat. But as she's hit. Now, I believe when she's hit by both of these, the dissonant whispers thing. Does the running last until just the end of your next turn, or does she turn around when she's hit? Or not, stop when she's hit because the fear would be broken at that point.
It's just her reaction to use all of her movement.
Just
up
her reaction to
to-
move that way. Okay, right.
Oh,
it's
but
not
just to
gonna-
use all of her movement.
So it doesn't.
also?
That's fine, but it doesn't last. It's not going to last over.
No.
She's not going to remain frightened. Okay, good stuff though. Love me some dissonant whispers. Wilhelm, are you staying where you are?
I'm going to move a few feet towards her then.
Okay, good stuff. All right, top of the round brings us up to Elder Hanu, as this creature runs from you.
Okay. I will. I'll shout out, "Why are you running?" And
I do not give you leave to depart.
yes, and I will. Unfortunately, even though I'm a druid, I have many investigative / protection spells, and nothing like entangle or anything. So
Yeah.
I'm going to chase after her. I'm assuming if I use all 30 feet of my movement that I can get back up next to her.
Yes.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
unfortunately, violence is the answer in this
Yeah.
situation.
Give her the shillelagh.
Yeah, so
Give her the
I'm
club.
going to do it.
Okay.
All with the aim of knocking her out, not going lethal or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit with advantage, and
Did you say
18
18? Yeah, that'll hit.
and 7 points of bludgeoning damage, magical
Have
bludgeoning.
holes in her that she'll bleed enough to faint.
Okay. Okay.
And debating whether or not No, I'm fine. I'm good. I passed the turn.
Okay. Right. That will bring us down next to Mog.
Okay, well, I'll try to attack again with my short bow. I see that he's not, hitting her on the temple or stuff, so I'm gonna try to shoot her enough so that she'll bleed and weaken, but maybe not pierce through an organ. But if I do, I'm not gonna cry about it.
I was gonna say, I look forward to the inevitable critical hit. Like, Teach, I accidentally, pierced it through the throat. It happens
Yeah, it
sometimes.
happens. I haven't been on the range in a while.
Yeah.
Nice.
15 plus 5 to attack 20.
20 will hit, yes.
And this is sneak attack damage.
Okay.
It's 1d6 plus 3 piercing, normal plus 2d6, right?
That's right.
What's that? That's a 1 or a
I think
6?
it's a 6.
That is a 6. So 6 plus
3 is 9.
3 is 9, and then plus 3 is 12.
12, okay. All right. Starting to look pretty,
Look, I winged her!
Yeah, she's not happy about that. And then you're going to stay in the same position you were roughly, Mog.
Am I still sort of behind Mr. Roundcloud?
You
Oh, wait,
were.
no. You said, okay, so bonus action, you said I was hearing noises from the bush all around.
Which are getting louder, yes.
And also, my bonus action is, I think reinforcements are coming, and then I'll duck behind an outcropping. I'll stay kind of near my friends, but I want to I want to hide. Bonus action hide.
Okay. All right. When you do that, and actually make a stealth check for me, please.
Stealth check. What's the most stealthy? What is my stealth? Oh, plus 7.
Nice.
20, dirty 20.
Okay. So, all right, so you sort of leap behind this, and you hear that rustling is starting to increase in volume. Okay.
They all hear me that I say reinforcements are coming?
I would assume, yeah, because it's not, you're yelling it, right, I assume, so that everyone would hear it.
Before I hide, I yell.
Yeah, exactly. Right, out of the reinforcements, right. So, she turns, Elder, on her turn, faces you, and you can see that there's sort of blood and this weird sort of green ichor, that blood too, it's not regular blood. And she looks at you, and her face is a mask of just pain and hate, and she says, "You think you can do anything to us? You haven't even begun to realize what you're facing." And she lifts her arms, and suddenly she begins to grow in front of you. And she grows and rises and rises and rises until she's perhaps 11 or 12 feet tall. Her arms thicken, and along her arms, branches and leaves twirl, and her suddenly you find yourself facing what looks like an enormous living tree. Whoa. And she stares down at Elder Hanu, and with one massive branched fist brings it down, or tries to, on Elder Hanu's head.
I don't know that I should be like messing with dryad archdruids.
Let me switch out the...
Yeah. Oh, God. Perfect.
Okay, that is going to be a 19 to hit you, Elder.
19 just hits my durable
Really?
turtle shell.
Just manages. Okay. All right. Now, I need to be careful about how I describe this. I want to be very specific.
This turtle being crushed to death.
Yeah. So, Elder. So, I'll explain why. Elder, you need to make for me, please, a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
I will do so right now.
Please be wise.
Remember your inspiration.
That's,
You've got inspiration.
I have inspiration?
Yeah, advantage, right, that you gave on because
It's plus D6.
Oh, well, right, you're separate from this because the silvery barbs you gave him, but that was the.
Oh, that too.
You have the silver.
Oh no, he doesn't have inspiration.
I think
It wouldn't be for that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not inspiration.
But
It's a silvery barb. So I think it's the saving throw is being done at advantage, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what the silvery barbs result was. So it's not
Yeah,
inspiration.
you have advantage.
Yeah, that's the silvery barbs thing.
Okay, I will roll again because it was about to be very bad. It's still very bad. That's a 10.
You take 20 points of psychic damage.
Jeez.
And you all see, now, I want to point something out. Elder Hanu, you experience this as being absolutely crushed, right? And I believe that brings you, if I'm not mistaken, to -3. So you are just like knocked out. But that's not what you all see. You see the figure sort of push this down, and what you see the reaction from Elder Hanu is this, and then being like almost as if Elder Hanu is pushing himself into the hit, as if he sees the branch come down and the fist hits him, and then he goes and falls to the ground and goes unconscious. But you didn't see it impact his shell the way that he clearly felt it when he fell to the ground.
Wow.
Weird.
Oh man.
That's rough.
However, Elder Hanu is still unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay.
And fairy fire is gone. All the little
and fairy fire is
flickering.
gone.
That's a good indication to you guys that bad stuff's happening.
Okay, that is going to bring us to let's see, and then she turns her baleful glare at all of you. Well, it turns its baleful
At
glare.
all of
So this is our.
That's true, not at you. In your general direction, maybe, but yes, that's true. At the two that are visible. Yes, I love that. That's great. Okay, so
That's not great.
It's great. This is great. What do you mean? Winning Dungeons and Dragons. Okay,
DM's
that's
showing
good.
his sadistic side again.
Just joking. Okay, Allie.
I am going to circle right by where Teach is, so that a 15-foot cone will not be hitting Mr. Round Clown. And I am going to be just like, I'm clearly stressing out.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like grab my moo, pull it down. The gold dragon head pops up and joins me, and my head and the dragon head starts fuming out just a pile of wild magic cards. Just fly out of her mouth.
Okay.
And we just go like this.
That's
at
just
her.
cards?
Wild card
Yeah.
breath. In other
Yeah,
words.
so the spell is called Spray of Cards. This person will need to make a saving throw,
Against Gambit.
the DC 14. A DC 14 dex.
Okay. This could be close.
Fail.
Just makes it.
Oh,
Just
All
makes
right.
it.
Well, they're going to take half damage from 2d10 then.
Okay. So that's not nothing.
So it's a good roll too. 16 points of damage.
Okay. So they'll
to
take.
8.
They'll
Yeah.
take. Right. Okay. There's sort of a, the tree thing sort of staggers back. Okay. Good stuff as it's hit by these cards. All right, and then you're staying where you are, Ali, in front of it with.
I'm just going to take one step back.
Okay. All right, that's going to bring us to carry the one. Elder Hanu, who will be giving us our first death save of this particular podcast. So again, for those of you at home, those of you who don't know, this is a 20-sided roll, and the idea is we're looking for 10 or above. Less than 10 is a fail. Higher than 10 or higher is a success. A 20 is a critical success, which means that not only do they stabilize, but they also get a hit point back. And if they critically fail, they get 2 fails. If they ever get to 3 failures, Elder Hanu is dead.
Okay, I was looking around for real dice because so far I've been rolling on D&D Beyond, and so I will use the only dice I have around is this incredibly tiny D20.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like their black
so
and white.
Give this a roll, right in front of me. Here we go. Okay, I got an. At my table, I keep the death saves between me and the GM, so the other players aren't aware.
Oh, that's up to you. I generally make it clear, but.
Okay. If I were to keep it a secret, should I just
Text him.
make a note? Make a
Yeah.
note or
Well,
something?
Greg's the dungeon master, not you. Tell us what you got.
I think actually, Zach, for the interest of the audience, it might be good for them to know, actually.
Okay. It's
although
good
that's
to know.
interesting.
I didn't get a 1 or 20. I got an 8, so that's one
so
failure.
one
One
fail.
fail. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Do you have any healing? Thanks.
Okay. All right. Next up is
Mr. Roundclown, I think.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Roundcloud.
Okay, so Mr. Roundclown is going to position their self to be right in front of this thing and is going to use their taunt.
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Pause for a second. I'm so sorry, Carlos. I just want to make sure that I'm following what just. It was Mog. You had gone, right?
I haven't gone yet.
No.
Before.
So the top of the order was the order used to be.
Yeah, I made a mistake. Elder Hani, you should not have made that roll yet.
Yeah,
because
he's
after
tough, yeah.
I skipped over someone because I looked at the wrong number. Hold on to that. You won't have to make the roll again. We'll
Okay,
use that next time.
that's fine.
So my apologies.
Yeah.
The
Should
next
be-
one
yeah.
should actually be the
Mr. Roundclown.
because
Mr.
well.
Roundclown's
Yeah,
gonna
because I
run-
remember thinking that I don't think Wilhelm went right
Yeah,
before me.
it's-
but
It was
I
Wilhelm
I
that I
also
skipped. That's
I
right.
had-
Oh no,
yeah.
sorry. That's right. It was Round Clown
And
and
then
then Wilhelm
Wilhelm,
and then
and
Elder
then
Hani. Sorry,
yeah.
my bad.
Gotcha.
Apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Roundclown is going to move right in their face.
Okay.
And is going to use their taunt ability. So Wisdom DC 15 save, or they suffer disadvantage if they attack anyone other than Mr. Roundclown.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
that's valid.
They sort of glares down at Mr. Roundclown. They seem to be very annoyed by Mr. Roundclown.
Okay, Mr. Roundclown, he basically fans out so that it looks like he's flicking it off. That's basically their action right now.
Okay, they seem very upset about that. It seems very upset about that. Okay, now it's Wilhelm.
All right. I wasn't looking at my pages. He's gonna flip through his book. Bonus action. Let my easing tone be heard and seal your wounds with a healing word. And I'm going to bring up Master Hanu.
who has never made a death save now.
Yeah.
Oh.
That actually is true because I would have
Great.
kept it if we went back there. But so
Yeah.
let's see what the roll is.
Yes. Wonderful. You get 7 hit points back.
Okay, so you're
Great.
starting at, you start at 0, so you're at 7 out of 27. So eyes
Awesome.
flicker open. Right. Okay.
And then for my action, I am within range. I am going to say, in twisted words and venomous rhyme, I'll beat you down one word at a time. And I'm going to do vicious mockery.
Vicious mockery.
Now, can you cast 2 spells like that?
You can cast a cantrip and a spell.
Cantrip and spell.
Yep. What's DC?
DC is 13 wisdom.
Nope. Rolls have not been great on this.
Unfortunate.
Well, I mean, except for the damage rolls.
Yeah. I
Have
mean,
been tremendous, but okay. Yes. So that is a fail. So
Oh, he failed. Oh, okay, wonderful.
definitely.
That is 2 points of psychic damage. And the next attack roll it makes is at disadvantage.
Okay. All right. It's sort of swaying back and forth. Okay, Wilhelm, you're going to stay where you are.
Yes.
That brings us up to the top of the round. Now it is Elder Hanu, but is not making a death saving throw.
Yeah.
Elder Hanu, you're prone, obviously,
I'm back up.
but you're awake and you're next to this tree thing.
Okay. Well, I am going
Better
to.
stay down.
Oh gosh. All right, I still have Shillelagh, so I think from the ground, I'm going to.
Are you going to stand first, or are you going to attack?
I would say sweep the leg, but it's a tree, right? So that's probably not the wise.
Sweep the root.
Sweep the root. Yeah, they don't. There's a reason why they don't say that.
You have a
Okay.
problem with that? No sense.
So I'm going to stand and I'll say,
You'll have to do more than that.
Ooh, dramatically
And-
stand. I love it. Yeah.
and I will continue with my shillelagh.
Okay, go ahead. Swing away.
Here we go. No more advantage. I don't think so. Just a normal.
Yeah, no more
attack.
advantage.
Okay. That's a 17 on the die, so I'm assuming that hits, and 7 points of damage.
When you swing into it with your shillelagh, you have this odd experience of hitting something which ought to be bark, but which makes a squishing sound that sounds like flesh.
Oh.
And
Ew.
suddenly you see the creature sort of shrink and shrink and shrink until the bark and the tree and all that has vanished, and you're looking at this old, haggard woman, the same one that you saw before. And she sort of breathes heavily and spits blood and says, you think you're strong, do you? But you haven't seen anything. You will die like the rest of them. Once the final moments come. Once he comes. And then she topples over and lands on the ground, and there's a twittering from the branches, and little luminescent birds fly out of the bush and fly up into the sky and around, and then you see this dark cloud kind of rise above her and then sort of sink on top of her, and you can see the grass seems to almost pull away from her body as she sort of sinks into the earth. And then you are conscious, I would say, of a presence. Ali, probably you, as you're sort of breathing, sort of like, behind you, you hear something moving. Several things, actually.
I turn around, obviously.
And you see 3 little delicate creatures, and they reach up to one of your dragon heads, and they stare, and then they say, "Why are you here?" And that's where we're going to bring ourselves to.
Okay.
Why are you here? We have to remember that that's the last line.
Right. We need to plan a lot.
Good work, everybody. So we got a combat. We took down a very haggish-like enemy. Who knows what it actually is? But we managed to get some information as well about this place. Some questions answered, but other questions that remain.
The realm.
The realm. I will go in the opposite order. I'll start, Adam, with you as a pretty clutch heel. I was wondering whether someone was going to be able to do that because,
given our class loadout.
kind of a situation, yes. So it had to happen that way also. But also then information that you're starting to gather about the use of magic. You've certainly got plenty of magic here that you've got to deal with. And whatever the hell was going on with the sort of portals to this place and your awareness that it's a door that opens both ways, theoretically, all that. It'll be interesting to see, I think, how Wilhelm sort of reacts. So, given that, how did you feel about today and anything you want to let the people know about before we meet again?
Yeah, as we've reached the top of this tower and seen into the portal and then seen into the mirror and then gone into the mirror, there are so many more questions that need to be answered now.
Yeah.
And given the chance to do combat and casting spells, it's revving up to be something really cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Anything people should be aware about coming up from you over the next month or so?
I'm just continuing to work on my writing and plays.
Okay.
Nothing much.
Okay. Next time we're going to see when the show comes out. Let the folks know too if they want to come to it also. But thanks, Adam. Good work tonight. Claire, excellent work also. Some very good role play, especially when we got the deal with the sit down with whatever the angular red-eyed creature is that you were talking to.
Oh, he's very scary.
Yeah, he's a little freaky. And the Gamork thing, it wasn't exactly on my mind, but I love that character, and so I definitely, So there was that, and then also you have the situation where you're in this new place. Frightening, disturbing, and separately, while all that serious stuff is going on, the sort of constant hey, now's your chance between Allie and Wilhelm is really funny. How'd you feel about today? Anything you want to let the folks know about before we speak next?
Oh, it's so interesting how tender I feel. Because my character loves Eldrahanu. He is her main mentor, and she is an orphan, and so watching him fall it's terrible. It's the most terrible thing.
Yeah.
And I think because she's so loyal to the school, partly because it is the equivalent of actual home for her, having grown up in the gutter. So the adventure, she's used to being on her own and doing dangerous things. It's how she grew up. The adventure part isn't the scary part for her. It's the scary part is the stakes being other people, I think. Mm-hmm. So, and I think she's got all these instincts. She's got the right instincts, but wars with some mischievous compulsions, I think.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. But I guess upcoming, I'm going to turn in my book. So now's your time to read the first one, Saint Death's Daughter, and also the audiobook, which I narrate, but you can listen to it in preparation for next year, Saint Death's Herald, which I'll be finishing and turning in this month. And if any of you are Canadian, both Greg and I will be at CanCon at the first weekend of November. And then Carlos and I are off to Prince Edward Island the second weekend. We may even be doing a reading on Prince Edward Island in a carriage house of a historic estate.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that would be cool.
Charlottetown in the house.
Super cool. Thanks, Claire. Excellent work tonight. Carlos, wonderful work as well from Allie. I love this sort of awkwardness of, I think Wilhelm's really great, don't you? So there was that. But then also several moments where Allie, is still sort of coming to grips with, the different powers that she's going to possess and what that's going to mean down the line. Yeah. And also likes Elder Hanu. So this is a little scary. All of a sudden just this thing is just and you're right. What do I do about that? So I thought that was interesting. And you also were thinking about how to deal, all of you were, how to deal with that black hole one way or the other, and how to widen it, deal with it, go through the portal, etc. So I'm curious to see how Ali manages things and the trauma, as the same with Mog, of seeing the teacher fall. Will the teacher rise up again, and be okay? How did you feel about today? Where will the lovely folks, things they need to know about?
Yeah. I mean, Elder Hanu going down is a pretty big deal, I think, for all of these students. I think that's a thing. I mean, I know when I go to 0 hit points in my class, my students freak out.
Especially when hit by a huge tree.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
When the Vorpal Blade goes snicker snack.
No, you don't want that.
So, I feel like there was a lot of really interesting puzzle solving. We also just kind of like decided we're just gonna be like all this caution we had going to the on the way up, and now we're just like
it's time for adventure.
oh, it's a black hole. Let's enter.
I noticed that. I'm like, all right.
The butterflies seem to be stretched. Sure, that seems like a great idea. And I mean, we got lucky, that there was basically a party cloud waiting for us to catch us. But yeah, I mean, really, really fun. Good to sort of like start using sorcery points and get into some mechanical aspects of the game. But the heart of the game really is all of these great characters interacting with each other. And that's just like a ton of fun for me. And so yeah, just trying to create a really awkward Breakfast Club like atmosphere, I think is definitely the goal here. So yeah, great fun. Like Claire said, we'll be in Canada sometime soon. I'm going to be turning in my LARP, and then I'm going to release it to the wild for free. Like that's just something I want to give to the world. So probably have more about that next time.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about this LARP. It's going to be cool. Thank you, Carlos. Great stuff tonight. And last but certainly not least, Zach, great work. We got to see what it was like on the other side of the portal and on the other side of death momentarily. We got all of that. And it was interesting. There was, I think, Elder picked up on a lot of the other people's feelings of like, I want to, all right, the adventure, the time's come to sort of let the young lead or whatever. So I liked that. And obviously that moment, I really liked too, the role play with you and this creature where you're just kind of like, that was interesting. We were like, I brought them to see what was happening because you played into this sort of darkness, this deception kind of at the heart of it. And I really enjoyed that. That stuff I eat up with a spoon though.
So
good. That's my favorite kind of thing. So that was great to see that. And then just being like, the hell with this. Like it's a boring conversation anyway, right? It's the Han Solo of it, which is great stuff. How'd you feel about tonight, and where would anything you want to tell the folks about what happens next before we speak?
No, of course. No, it was great tonight. I think, the Elders can be funny without necessarily meaning to sometimes, and it's sort of whenever you bring the old man along for a ride with the young ones, but occasionally I'm like, okay, he has to show some aptitude of why he's been alive for this long. So occasionally those, especially in moments of like, oh, okay, I am the caretaker of these kids. Let me, and we're now in a really dangerous place, obviously. So, I enjoyed that too. And the, the improv nature of how we got to where we got, suddenly shillelaghing an old lady that turned into a tree. D&D. So
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that sometimes. It do. That was great. It was fun. Can't wait for next time. People will find me, of course, back here for Hearthglow. Also, I'm a part of the Our Vocalists, which is the best voice acting team on Twitch for voice games on Arvin Elrond's channel. You'll also find me there for Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks when that returns shortly. Our sci-fi D&D show.
And it is returning shortly. We're almost there.
Yeah. And also for, of course, mentioned at the start of the show, Gen GMs, our duo podcast where we talk about GMing and more stuff along the lines of that. And then personally, I'm just doing a lot of D&D and youth work here in San Francisco. But other things may be coming soon. We'll see. I have stuff coming down the pipeline. So, but for now, it was a pleasure and wonderful to play with all of you on the other coast across the country.
Always. Thank you, Zach. Good stuff today. Good, wonderful work from all the players. We want to thank you, dear viewers or dear listeners, for being with us for Hearthglow. By the time you get done with this, I think we'll be past episode 9 of the audio and day 3 otherwise. So if you like what you heard here, it would be lovely if you could spread the word about the show. We are trying to build up the audience for this. I think these players are wonderful. This is a great campaign. So if you want to know more, please head over to my website, which is arvinelleron.com. hearthglow.com, the webpage Hearthglow that you may be listening to this from, or my YouTube channel. And please spread the word. Social media, Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, carrier pigeon, like whatever you want to do, smoke signals. Please make sure that you do that and spread the word. And most of all, thank you for continuing to listen and be a part of it. And catch me, I should say, with some of the players on twitch.tv/ArvinEleron, where I do more of this kind of gameplay as well. Otherwise, we'll be back for another long recording next month, and we'll have short recordings up until that time. We see you next. So we will see you next time. Until then, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
that's
everybody.
all for now.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
My pleasure. Always.
Bye, Zach.